Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Evasion in a Solo Battles Season 6. We are very excited, and I hope you are excited at home also, because we are bringing you the solo battles for the first time ever, as TARKOV Reporter stated, on private servers. So that means the thing that we love most that happens during the solo battles, watching competitors murder each other, will be happening specifically over and over today, and I cannot wait to see how it unfolds. But I am joined today by none other than this handsome mustached man. What is going on, Ash? How are you, buddy?
Hey, Bunny. I'm glad to be here. It's been a good morning, so I'm super excited. I've never casted on Evasion before, so it's an awesome opportunity, and I'm just super happy to be here.
Yeah, and we are excited to have you. You are a member of Team Evasion. You will be casting, as you said, for the first time with me today. You will also be competing tomorrow. Are you excited? Trying to get a feel for everybody and how they might play, get some pointers? What's the thought process?
Yeah, it's interesting to be casting the first day and playing the second day, and to be honest, this is something I haven't done before. I've never competed in a competitive tournament like this, so I'm just excited to have the opportunity and dip my feet into something that may be out of my comfort zone a little bit. But yeah, watching today and being able to be a part of this, maybe I will get some ideas along the way.
With you, I'm always worried when you get ideas, because we never know what those ideas may be. It might be a way to troll the rest of the competitors. We don't know. So we will find out tomorrow when you compete. Make sure everybody tunes in for that to watch Ash and everything that may be going on. But guys, I am your host today, as I will be all weekend. My name is Unfluffy Bunny. I have been doing this for quite a while. I love it, and I'm very, very excited to bring this to you. But with that being said, what exactly is happening today? Well, we are taking 12 competitors that went through a qualifier, our first ever, and we are having them compete today in 5 different events on 5 different maps, all on private servers, each with their own unique rule set. So we will see how this unfolds for our competitors. Some of our competitors, as you may know, are name staples in the game for being a little bit more PvP oriented, and then we have others that may be a little bit more tactical. So we will see how those play styles play out in our unique rule set. And with that being said, guys, if you are curious about any of the rule sets that may be going forward, head over to our website, evasion.gg. You can find out all of the information over at Evasion. You can find out when our calendars are, the season's information. You can also find out about the Team Evasion, which Ash is a part of. And you can head over there and check out the merch line. You can go over to evasion.gg/merch, find out all of the cool hats, gamer socks, everything in between that you may need, because we got to keep our feet warm while gaming. How about you, Ash? You keep your feet warm while gaming? Or are you a barefoot gamer?
To be honest, I go barefoot in Crocs, which I go for style, obviously, over warmth. So that's how I'm sitting right now, and I can't live any better.
Awesome. We'll enjoy that. And also make sure you head over and check out Evasion on all of the socials. You can find us at Twitter, Evasion_GG, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And I know, Ash, you're also a huge TikToker.
Yeah, TikTok is great. I'm definitely a big part of that same name there. So I'm super excited to be on TikTok, super excited to be on Twitch, and super excited more so for this event right here.
Awesome. Well, and also, if you want to keep track of scores at home, chat, you guys can go over to escapefromtarkov.com/evasion. We will have live updated scores all day over there. Make sure you are checking in, seeing where your favorite streamer is at in the scoreboard, see how they're stacking up against everybody else. And with that being said, we have a large list of competitors that will be competing today. Everybody from Sheaf GG this morning to Trey 24K. We have Kumo14, Razzle Diz, The Breezy, Lost Disciple, Zerhawk, Chusky, Hallie Lion, Snow Reaper 187. Oh man, it is a stacked group, and they are getting ready to load into our very first map of the event, Labs Heist. bring that up on screen. Let's show the people at home exactly what the competitors will be doing on labs. Good. Do me a favor, Ash. Go ahead and tell the folks at home. Read this off to them. What can they expect?
So this one's very interesting. I love that there's a different rule set for each map. Now, starting with the labs, the time limit will be 25 minutes, and all 12 players will be there. The objective is to get to labs and kill any raiders and PMCs in your way. Extract with the most value and loot that you can. Points earned for every 50k worth of loot, and raider spawns are increased. Now, you can start with any loadout. Can't bring a Reap-IR Flare or T7s. If a raider kills a point, PMC, 2 points. If you pick up that dog tag, that is an additional 2 points. Extract will give you 3. And like I said, every 50,000 rubles worth of loot is an extra 2 points.
Yes, this is going to be one of those maps where we get to kind of see all of our competitors warm up a little bit. I mean, we say this, our normal first event here at Evasion was always a warm-up event, but that does not seem to be the case this season. We expect all of these competitors to be competing at the highest level possible. That is why they went through the very difficult qualifier, as we saw in the opening video. You on the ground at Lighthouse there, Ash, you know, getting into some weird, interesting things. But everybody is tested. They are battled, readied. What would be your game plan? Or what, you know, maybe you can't give too much away, but what are you thinking about for your lab's heist run?
Well, I'm going to start with saying I'm not giving anybody anything, okay? I got to use with what I got. I got a lot of creative juices flowing on what may happen, or I have no idea yet. Maybe I just play it by ear. Yeah, I got to keep everybody guessing. I don't want to give away too much, but I'm excited to see what these guys do today.
Yes, as am I. All of our competitors are getting queued up, getting ready to launch into our very first solo event. 12 competitors on the map as they get into it. And at this moment, I do want to go ahead and thank everybody that has helped sponsored and put this on. We have an amazing team here at Evasion that works super hard behind the scenes putting this together. It has been weeks and weeks of going back and forth, getting things worked out. Much love to the battle mods that are assisting all of our competitors today, our entire production team. Much love to you, Ash, for joining me as a caster. Also want to thank our new sponsors that we have here at Evasion. Goodies Granola, some of the best granola you will ever have in your life, and Empire Jerky. You know, if you need meat in your mouth, it is good meat to put in your mouth. Exactly. Let's hop right into the action, though, as we join Sheaf Ash on labs. We are, man, this is our first person getting into it on the solos. Ash, I'm excited.
I'm super stoked, and I'm really excited to see how Sheaf does. He is the captain.
We're going
Team Evasion, so
right?
I may be a little biased here, but I'm really pulling for Sheaf here.
And that's understandable. I mean, you guys he is the team captain. You are on the same team. He's going to go ahead and hit up inside of this top area using I'm trying to see. It looks like it's a MK47. I was wondering what weapon set we were going to see. Now, remember, on the private servers, everybody does have level 42 traders, so everything is unlocked for them to be able to purchase and use. So I was curious, were we going to see a lot of mutants? Were we going to see 556? A lot of people haven't really been, you know, it's been unfortunate because a lot of people haven't been feeling good about the 556. We are going to switch over to Apollo, though. He is over here towards blue, it looks like, throwing a grenade out. I think he hears somebody, Ash. Let's see how he fights this and what's going on.
This is interesting. I'm excited. Looks like a preemptive grenade. Maybe push somebody back in case somebody was there.
Yeah, we do have Hallie also in the bottom right hand holding that angle, listening. Maybe they hear each other here, and we might be getting into a fight. Well, going ahead and lighting each other up on the corner as they push. Hallie Lion getting the kill. Oh, going down to Apollo there. Apollo with the nice spray, dropping Hallie. What a great first fight of our solo battles. Love to see it.
Yeah, swings win. Swings win, and you saw it here. And Lion is no pushover. Lion is a sneaky good player. So that shows how powerful swings are in this game, even after inertia was added.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
Dude, I'm so nervous right now. I don't know why.
Interesting choice in armor that I want to note that Hallie was running a fast MT tan, where Apollo has decided to go with the TC with the slat plate.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the plan should be helmet wise, because if you kind of want to get the feel of what ammos everybody's running, because if people are running top tier ammo, like there is good ammo through traders too. So I would skimp out on the helmet a little bit too to test the waters out.
Now, Sheaf looks like he may hear something. Going ahead and finding somebody. Thinks he's up on that blue crate, trying to get a little headshot. Possibly. Disciple is up on there. Moving around. He tried to jump off. It looks like Sheaf is going to take a spray, possibly.
Wow.
That is the Sheaf kill, as we can see from Disciple's point of view, dropping and getting killed by Sheaf. Beautiful usage there. With Disciple deciding to run the RFB, one of my absolute favorite early game guns. Such a powerhouse weapon. Using that M62 in it just makes it very strong.
Yeah, the RFB is a gun that has slept on a little bit, especially if you put a rangefinder on it and use that laser. You get a little more versatility with it.
Well, it does look like Trey has already gone ahead and picked up a kill. Looks like he had Zierhawk's tag in his pocket. Moving around this top, around Cat's area of labs. Hearing shots off on the distance. Looks like he's going to push over and see what is going on. Now, Ash, these do seem to be raiders. Oh, he's losing both of his arms very quickly. Going to fall off of that fight. Get in position. Go ahead and fight that raider.
This is not a good spot right here.
Oh, he's lost his stomach. Heavy bleed. He needs to draw. Oh.
Trey is a really good player. He's a scary player to be pushing at you, but he got caught in a bad spot there. I'm surprised he lasted as long as he did.
Mm-hmm. I am also. It looks like the Raiders might have been a little confused about who they needed to attack. There may have been another player around, so they weren't fully focusing on him until he laid down, and they just had clear line of sight and went ahead and dropped him.
Just labs.
Yeah, like I said, tough spot. I don't know what Trey could have done differently in that position.
Mm-hmm.
Dude,
very true. Now remember, they are going for points. Razzle is tagged. Looks like Apollo has dropped somebody else and picked up another weapon, grabbing that MDR off of them. They are going to want to do that so that way they can maximize their money and have weapons going forward. But what's interesting to know also is, because of the way that the private servers is set up, they are not allowed to put those tags into their backpack. So if he does die, those points are available for another competitor today.
Yeah, like you said, you can't put the dog tags in the pouch, so it does get interesting. There's a lot of points in each bag because of it. But they're going to have to figure out a balance here, because obviously you want weapons moving forward to maximize what you can use throughout the tournament. But at the same time, you really want to load up on high-value loot on this map, because you get an extra 2 points per 50K, remember.
Mm-hmm. Very true. So it is going to be important to min-max every single slot on your character. I mean, that is one of the things you want to do as a Tarkov player regardless, is make sure that you're min-maxing every single slot that you have. Make sure you're getting the most value per slot. Now, something to note also is he's dropping his backpack, deciding to go ahead and move up here towards these dark offices. Does he hear somebody? Oh, taking some shots from across.
Apollo is showing a lot of confidence here. He's backing off, which I think is the smart thing to do at a time like that. To be honest, I didn't see where he got shot from. He might not know exactly either. Or he's looking to wrap upstairs and try to flank him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's going to go for a flank maneuver. Something I do like what Apollo did, though, was he dropped his backpack in a room. So that way, if he dies, he's denying points to whoever kills him because he won't have the tag on him.
That's very interesting. That's something I didn't think about. That is a good move. Hopefully he remembers where he left the bag, because that would be tough when it comes to tags and weapons as well.
True. Ooh, taking a nice clean shot there.
Love to see it. Nothing like a one tap.
So we do have more running around. Apollo. Sheaf is over at the servers. These two competitors aren't super far away. They may get close to one another. Does seem like there are quite a lot of raiders running around also. Now, here's another thing to note. A lot of these players have been running their own account on the live servers with max strength, max endurance, but they don't have those stats in this. Do you think that's going to be an affecting factor for these competitors? Are they going to be affected by it too much?
Yeah, I think yes, to a point. A lot of these players are, all these players are super good, and they're going to learn to adapt. But the early rounds, or at least the first round, it's going to be an adjustment. You know, the strength and endurance is now capped at well, not capped, but it's at 25 to start here. So you're looking at about halfway through. So it is a big adjustment. I think these players are skilled and smart enough to adjust quick, though.
Very true. Yeah. I love just seeing the unique sets that we have so far, the unique decisions that everybody has decided. The other thing that I really am enjoying is what people are putting inside of their gamma container and saying, okay, you know, we see a D-fuel inside of Sheaf's where he's like, okay, this is worth a lot of money. I'm taking this to sell it so that way I can make it. So it is very, very unique and interesting, all of the decision-making that we're seeing.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, dry fuel's not too bad to dealers. I think it's about 26K. That might not be a bad choice to put in a slot.
All right, as we bring up Chusky over here, going ahead and finding a vase. He is into those dark offices. Wait, no. This isn't the dark office. This is over by yellow, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
I'm not quite sure, but it definitely looks like Chusky's going for the high-value loot. He might be avoiding fights for now and seeing how much he can bank up to get those additional 2 points per 50K.
We got a fuel can.
We'll see.
That's I don't know how much that vendor's for, actually. Yo, what up, Pat?
This is another interesting point because we are testing all of these competitors' knowledge about how much items sell for to traders. This is something that I think Sheaf will shine at specifically because, remember, he was the first man to $1 billion a few wipes ago. He has a large knowledge pool, I would say, of exactly how much things vendor for, what is a high-value item, and what sells for the most. So he may be in a little bit of an advantage over some of the other competitors.
Yeah, Sheaf would be my pick for who has the most knowledge. Probably just off base what I know. Like you said, he was the first to $1 billion. And at the same time, as much as is an advantage for him, that's got to be scary for the other competitors going in.
Mm-hmm. Very true. I mean, that you know, whenever it comes to a competition, I mean, a lot of us are sports people or esports people. We watch this. And there's a mental game that also is played, because if you are going against somebody that you specifically know is, you know, very knowledgeable, very experienced, regardless of how well you do, you are going to be concerned. You are going to have that in the back of your head, no matter how many times you've played. So it is something for a hurdle for our other competitors to come over. Now, something to note, Sheaf is down in the sewers. He may be deciding to go ahead and extract with 14 minutes left on the timer. Interesting play here.
He must be confident with the loot he has and the points he piled up, or he could be waiting around for a few extra seconds and see if he can get some last-minute points.
Oh, Chusky has a lot of running around him. These are probably raiders. Going ahead and finding one with a nice little head tap there. Oh, beautiful.
Love to see it.
If you get a chance, you try to loot the raider's body.
And remember, guys, raider kills are a point each, so we just saw him take 2 quick points. And these are going to add up. These are going to add up as the raid goes on.
Mm-hmm. Very true. As the raids go on, these points will start to add up more and more. Chusky going to go ahead and grab that 300 blackout MCX. Apollo is pushing up the stairs, going towards around the blue area, it looks like. He is also, looks like he might be heading back for his backpack. As we recall earlier, he did drop it in this room. He did not forget it. Wait. Apollo is making a backpack storage room. What is going on?
He has a plan. It seems
Frickin'
like he
I'm
had
just
this
like,
plan going
I
in because
can't
he's
do
really
it.
confident with what he's doing. Maybe he's just going to throw as many backpacks as he can in there and sort through the loot at the end and take out only the highest
you
of
go.
values. I like it.
This is your definition of loot goblin right here that Apollo is showing us. You grab it all, hoard it into one room, and go through it at your leisure.
Big brain, we'll call it. I like it.
Chusky going ahead and getting shot at by another raider on this map.
Sound like you got him in that last one.
Ooh, dropping
takes
him,
out another.
beautiful.
Love it. Love to see it. Now there's about 10 minutes left on in the raid. So curious to see when people are going to start or finishing up the raid.
It will be interesting to note like how people are going to manage their time here towards the end of the raid. Now, something that just makes my heart so happy as a huge fan of this gun. Oh, going ahead and finding some more raiders for Apollo while he's hanging out inside of the elevator, using that to his advantage as a little bit of a security buffer. Dropping, it looks like 2 or 3 more raiders over there. But Chusky is using the juice cannon. He brought out the SA-58. I like this choice.
Kind of like secured this section.
See, I haven't played with the SA-58 too much this wipe, but it's definitely the juice cannon. So I'm excited to see it in action more.
Decent points.
Yeah, especially since some of the attachments got a little bit of a buff. It is a little bit better. It's obviously not to the meta level it was, a few wipes ago, but Chusky is making it work for him, having some fun with it, dropping all of these raiders and getting a lot of points because of it, farming up those points.
Yeah, you love to see it. I'm curious of what ammo he is running right now. I didn't quite catch it when I looked over, but I'm excited to see it. It's a great caliber. I mean, to me, this would be my guess for the go-to ammo for something like this. But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out because you never really know.
Now, I do want to take a look over at the scoreboard. Remember, everybody at home, if you want to keep up with where everybody is sitting, you can head over to escapefromtarkov.com/evasion. All of the scores are updated live there, so you can keep track at home. But as of this moment, the team captain for Evasion, Chief GG, is sitting at first as the first one to extract with 28 points. Sitting in second with 2 points is Razzle Diz. So we have a 26-point spread between first and second with a few competitors still in the raid. Oh, Chusky looks like he is absolutely destroyed while I was giving that spill. Something happened. He must have gotten into a fight with a raider down low, and it did not go well for him.
Yeah, it's tough to see Chusky like this right now.
I am being told that he was grenaded by a raider, Ash.
Yeah, they'll get you. They're good. They're good with their nades. They don't come to play.
I love this.
Account,
hurt, damaged, but still needs to loot. Of course, got to go for those bonus points.
Now, every point counts. You got to multitask here. Like we were talking about. There's a limited raid time.
A little bit of fear for a second.
A little over 8 minutes left.
Kill you, man. It was kind of crazy.
So you're gonna want to get all the loot you can last second to try to pile up the points here.
Oh, there was problems. They just weren't externally shown from me, at least.
Something to note also is Apollo and Chusky are the last two in this raid. Remember, they are all in these raids together. They are competing together. So, at some point, they could still possibly run into each other. They seem to be on opposite sides of the map, kind of circling each other like sharks in the water, and have not actually ran into each other. But it is still a possibility with time ticking away and choices of extracts dwindling. What will we see for these competitors?
Yeah, it's super interesting you say that because if these are the last two in, I mean, Sheaf is the only one to extract so far. That's why that total points difference is so large right now. And this could be big for Sheaf later on. Not letting anyone else really get points by not extracting and making sure he got out to secure the loot, secure the exfil points. Let's see if Chusky and Apollo can do the same.
So one other thing I want to point out, so Chusky going ahead and picking up another Raider down here, dropping him with a clean one tap to the head. Something to note is, though, these competitors may want to find out from their battle mods who's sitting in first, where is everybody at, because they are going to then want to put a target on that person and make sure that they kill them to get them out of a raid so they don't get points.
That is true, but there's really no way to figure out who's who. You know what I mean? So as much as you'd like the information, I don't know how much you could actually do with it. But you're right. You would want to take out the most feared, the one way ahead and first, to make sure that they can't continue to pile points on top of you.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting. We'll see if this forces players to become a lot more aggressive, because it's like you said, they can't figure out who the leader is, so they're like, hey, then I need to kill everybody to make sure that they die. Now, something to notice, what Chusky's doing here, I love this tactic. In his Gamma, he has 2 of the rails for the AK variant and he is attaching all of the attachments that he finds in raid onto those rails to clear up and have more free slots to get things out. Very, very smart tactic from Chusky.
That is smart. You love to see it. You love to see the creativity here. Look at that. He's doing it again right now, just like you were talking about. And I think it's a good move. I think it's a good move. Something I wouldn't have thought of, and probably not a lot of the other competitors thought of this yet.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Chusky showing his knowledge of the game, saying exactly, hey, this is how I can min-max every single slot. This is how I can get the most parts. This is what we like to see from our competitors. You can tell the people who are really, really, every one of our competitors is excited to be here, but there is a caliber of player that comes out when we have these competitions that just is above and beyond, where it's like, hey, they looked at every single rule, they skimmed it, and they were like, how can I min-max this how can I gamerify this the most?
Yeah, a lot of big brain plays. And to be honest, as a competitor tomorrow, this is scaring the hell out of me. I've seen a lot of stuff that I would have never thought of, so it's scaring me a little bit. But I love to see it. You love to see people put their thinking caps on in a competitive scene like this.
Here's the bonus to this, though. For you, Ash, specifically, you don't compete till tomorrow. So you let all the other big brains come up with the ideas, and then you just borrow them.
Yeah, see, I have my people. They're compiling lists and doing all the research and putting everything together. No, but yeah, there's an advantage to that with any person, not in Group A. Even players in Group B have that advantage. So yeah, it's super interesting. Super interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully all of the competitors are watching, because as a competitive person myself and even you want to see what your competitors are doing. You want to learn the best strategy, see what's working, see what's not working. It is always the disadvantage of being in the first group, is that you don't get that chance. But you get the VODs later if you move on, and you can see what other competitors did and use that to your advantage. So everybody's always giving and taking a little bit during these competitions. Looks like Chusky is going to go ahead and get out, rack up on a bunch of points. We'll get those tallied up, see where he falls over on that leaderboard. That leaves us with Apollo, last man standing in the lobby.
Yeah, Apollo's going to look to want to get out now. There's about 3.5 minutes left. Might do one final run through and see if there's any loot missed. I don't know if Apollo picked up his
Where'd I drop my bag?
He's looking for his bag right now. Where'd I drop my bag?
Okay.
You knew this was going to come into play when he started throwing multiple bags around.
I'm so bad.
The score's updated right now. Chusky's looking real good.
Those scores are updating instantaneous over on the website. Chusky has jumped into the lead by a huge margin. 30-point difference setting him away from Sheaf. So as it stands right now, Chusky's in first with 58 points. We are looking at Sheaf with 28 and then Razzle Diz with 2. Now, with that being said, depending on how many points Apollo, it looks like our top 3 out of this will be Chusky, Sheaf, and Apollo, as long as nothing crazy happens in these last 2 minutes.
Start working for that exit.
Exactly, and Apollo is clearly. This is my first time ever watching Apollo, to be honest, and there is clear proof that he is a very smart player. So excited to see him get out.
Going ahead and hitting another button, getting ready for this extract. Now, how's Apollo gone back to his backpack stash down low? Have we seen him go back over there, or did he already move those? It's hard to say with Apollo because he had stashed backpacks all over the map.
To be honest, I have no idea. It's like watching a chipmunk store nuts. I have no idea how many bags are in play right now. I don't know where they are. He might have them. I don't even know if he knows where they are right now.
Also, like a chipmunk storing nuts, it seems that he has forgotten where he has put half of the bags.
Yes, that's a scary thing with doing this. It's smart if you remember where you put them.
Cool.
That's why I enjoyed the early strategy of him having a room that he kept running back to throw bags in, because it was like, hey, no matter what, I know this room is going to be where all of my bags are. It seems like after a little bit further into the raid, he got away from that and just started throwing them wherever. And now he is really worrying me. Please grab this backpack and move to extract. You have a minute left. I mean, he's right here. It's labs. It's not like it's got far to go. But you just never know with labs. There may be one more sitting around just a corner, scared out of his mind, ready to nade you and end your run.
Yeah, you never know what's gonna happen. But like you said, he's right here. I think this is gonna be an easy extract, and I'm thinking a lot of points are about to go up on the board. A lot of points. Now you see that Chief, he only had 1 kill point. He really wanted to make sure he banked points, which isn't a bad idea. But if you look at Chusky, he had 7 kills. Right. Now I'm curious to see how many Apollo has.
Good.
Very, very true. Now, something to note too with Chief is, if you guys did notice when the announcements came out about every one of our competitors and what group they were in, Chief was on Twitter talking a big game, saying specifically, congratulations to all the runners up. He does want to win this. And sitting at 3rd, not too bad, as you can see on the leaderboard. Chusky sitting at 58 points, the Apollo at 36, and Chief at 28. The top 3 that we were expecting, as they were the only 3 to extract. All of our other competitors were either taken out by one another or by raiders. So with that being said, what a great round. Give me your first impressions, Ash, of the solo competition on the private servers. What was your moment? What are you thinking so far?
I'm loving this. I'm loving the private servers where everyone's against each other and there's no outside factors to really worry about. But it's awesome to see all these crazy competitors because you know they're good going in. You know, the skill is all there. So anything can happen at any time. It's super exciting. To be honest, I don't know if I'm that surprised that only 3 got out. I don't know if I'm really surprised at it because everyone in here is so good.
Very, very true. And it's going to be interesting going forward because it is one of those situations. We've always had this with our solo battles. I mean, when you die in the solo battle, you're dead. That's it. You know, you can't get points. So I'm curious as how this is going to affect some of the competitors who died early and say, okay, are they going to play it a little bit slower? Are they going to be a little bit more apprehensive about taking fights or taking specific pushes, specifically because they don't have points on the board yet? So, you know, how would you feel if you died first round, very early, 0 points on the board going into the next map?
Yeah, you would have to kind of look at what you did. I mean, it's Tarkov. Things happen, you know? You could be doing nothing wrong, you know, and you might not find a fault in what you did. And sometimes things happen, but I think a lot of players are going to have to adapt here. You're really going to have to sit and look at your play style. Certain play styles might work better in a competition like this. There's a lot of people who like to push every fight, and they win a lot. They're real good at it. But you're now in a battle with other players who are really that good too. You know what I mean? So you might have to kind of tone it back a little bit, but you never know. We'll see. Like I said, these guys are really good at what they do.
Well, with that being said, talking about moving into what our competitors will be doing, we are getting ready for the next event, which is shopping for LAN Party on Interchange. All 12 of our competitors will be tasked with collecting enough items to build a PC and extracting with the parts. As we know, those parts are very scarce IRL. Wonder if they're going to be as scarce. I mean, that GPU, that is a hard thing to find anywhere right now. Extra points awarded for finding bonus PC parts. Multiple bonus PC parts may be collected. Points for killing scavs, PMCs, and killas. They can run anything, but obviously are not allowed any kind of Reaps, Flurs, T7s of that caliber. Points are scav kills 1, PMC kills are 2 points, dog tag on extract 2 points, because remember they cannot put those dog tags in their containers. They can only put them in their backpack, so they need to get out with them to get those points. Killa 5 points. Extract 3 points, PC parts 1 point, bonus PC parts 3 points each, CPU, RAM, power supply, power cord, hard drive, CPU cooler, bonus PC parts, SSD drive, GPU, working LCD, and a flash drive. Now, with that being said, if you have played Interchange, you do know that there are some high value tech locations specifically on this map, but do you push those? Ash, what are you thinking? Do you run for Tech Light or do you play it safe? Because remember, there are, what is it, 36 no, not 36, 26 computers on this map? It's something like that. It's around that number, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know if you have to run to Tech Light and Texo and stuff like that right away. I for the most part, was an Interchange main. This is my favorite map to play, or at least was my favorite map to play, so I played it a ton. And there's just so many offices. There's so many offices, so many computers throughout that you can look for parts. I don't know if it would be the move to run right to RAS and Texo and TechLate, but it might not be a bad idea because you're also funneling players there, you would assume, to try to rack up points there and take your competitors out. So if they have that in mind, maybe it is the move to push. But for just loot, maybe not.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, I'm expecting to see a lot of people. And here's the thing, you have 12 other competitors, each trying to complete the exact same task as you. So you do know that even the safer choices that you would normally make, maybe hitting those computers in the back of Idea or in the back of Goshen and the offices of Ollie, like those locations may not be as safe as they normally are because there are 11 other people trying to vie for those. So I'm interested to see strategies here and also Ash Killa. Killa's at play here.
Yeah, and that does make things interesting, but with the Killa spawn changing, so it's not just Killa hallway, it's not really easy to track him down. You know, it could be anywhere, and that's scary because you never know where he's going to be, and he can catch you off guard. But Killa being in play is a big thing, and to go to what you were saying about the offices not being as safe as they usually are, you're probably right. There's no way it's going to be like it usually is. A lot of people are going to have the same idea. You'd assume, but it could be a safer way to take a fight. You have less angles to be hit from. You know, the cover there, it's more corners and stuff like that. As long as you can get a right-hand peek, it might not be a bad move to get a fight back there.
Yeah, it truly may not. And we've seen some very interesting, and one of the other things that I'm wondering is if we'll see a competitor specifically go for Killa for his armor, because it is one of the best armors that they can get through the competition, and getting a Killa armor early, especially if you could take out Killa's legs and not damage the armor and have that, I mean, that is a strategy. It's a dangerous strategy, but it's a viable strategy to help you through the rest of the competition.
Yeah, no, that is definitely something that could happen, and I think it's a smart move. But like I said, tracking Killa down might be tough.
Yeah, and as our competitors are getting ready to launch in to this competition, we're going to get excited. I mean, This has been one of the most unique things for us here at Evasion. All of this being hosted on our private servers in conjunction with Battle State Games. We can't thank them enough for everything. Also, once again, want to thank our new sponsors, Goodies Granola and Empire Jerky. Guys, make sure you head over to both of those websites. Check them out. Pick up some, everybody needs snacks while they're gaming. Some of the best snacks that you can have while gaming over there. Oh, man. With that being said, I'm excited to see if we are going to get changes in loadouts. Obviously, a bunch of the competitors died. See if they may be racked up on some of the same guns, if they are switching out weapons, and what our routes are going to be. Now, something we didn't talk about as we prepare to load in, stashes outside, Ash. They have a high probability and a high chance of spawning tech loot. Do we think we see a stash runner during this competition?
I think if we did, Sheaf might be one to look at least early on, maybe to collect the parts and then push inside for extra points. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't feel like it's as safe of a bet for this specific loot, but you never know. It could be someone's plan going in. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw it, and then again, I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't really see a stash runner. But I'm excited to see what everyone's doing here. Like I said, I love Interchange, so that was my home for a while, so I'm super excited to see how everybody plays this moving forward.
Very, very true. Guys, once again, we want to say thank you to everybody. Hey, if you have not yet, head over to our website. Go show it some love. Check it out. We have all of our up-to-date information about when our competitions will be going forward. You will be able to check a calendar to see exactly when each competition is happening. We are running double headers today. So we will have this, and then we will be going straight into another group right after that. I will be joined by Victoria Ryan, who is in chat. She will be casting that with me. And then we will have another group tomorrow when we go for another doubleheader, and then the champion for NA will be on Sunday. Now, this is something else to note, Ash, is as we jump in with Hallie, remember, they are fighting for the championship. So top 4 competitors from each day will be moving on to Sunday to fight it out.
Yeah, I'm excited to see who comes out with it. I really am. I love this. I'm having a great time watching these guys compete.
Now, one other thing that I'm very happy about is so far, it's a beautiful day in Tarkov. No rain anywhere. These competitors don't have to worry about that. As we see Razzle Diz in the bottom over at the go-kart track, and Hallie is pushing into that, high spawn chance location for where Killa can normally be. Hallie getting into position, looks like he may be willing to ambush somebody. Raz is finding Juski at the door, but doesn't seem to be taking the shots, decided to hold off to get into a better position to ambush him, and Juski goes down to a headshot, gets dropped.
Oh, there you go.
Wow. Was that Raz? Let's see. It was Raz from his perspective, how he did this.
That was very smart of Raz to not take the shot from outside and give away the position, especially because he was so in the open. And Raz has realized that right now you cannot put dog tags in the pouch. he was reminded with a big red block. So no, I think it was a very good move by Raz to push in a little bit first before taking that shot.
Very, very smart play there from Raz. Now, something to note: we're seeing an interesting dynamic through all of our competitors. We're seeing a lot of Gazelles and we're seeing a lot of TV-110 rigs. Now, TV-110s obviously being a class 4, Gazelles being a class 5, but TV-110s repair extremely well. But Breezy getting lit up over here by the bridge, seeing if he can't spot him, using an M1A. Looks like it might be Lost getting into it with him. See how Breezy handles this fight.
This is not a great spot to fight for either, to be honest.
Breezy does not have eyes, but then he finds him. Lost is running over to the left. Let's see. Oh. They are circling one another. But it looks like Breezy is going to go ahead and drop Disciple with that beautiful spray down. Unfortunately, not Disciple's best luck there. Wow, Ash.
You love to see it.
Jumping right over
to Sheep. Just took someone down.
Sheaf just murdered Hallie! Oh my gosh, Sheaf just murdered Hallie out of nowhere, picking up a CPU in the back. This is what we were talking about at the beginning. Our competitors going for the same areas because they know that there is a lot of tech loot back here. And unfortunately, Hallie running into the end of Sheaf's gun just did not work out for him.
Yeah, Sheaf's good. Sheaf has a lot of knowledge, but he's also very, very good at the game. So running into Sheaf is scary in general. Sheaf is going to go to the spot where you'll find the most loot, I believe, and that's where he just went.
Yeah. And now we have Kumo working his way up. First time we're checking in with Kumo today. Going ahead and looking under here. I think isn't there a duffel bag or something? I'm thinking of the different steps. He's going ahead and clearing it out, making sure nobody's around. But he's in that dangerous location where Hallie was. I was scared for a second, thinking he was going to push up those escalators right into the Sheaf's gun yet again, but he has decided to go a different direction.
Yeah, I'm super curious of what Kumo was doing there. Maybe like you said, checking to make sure nobody was hiding out under there for a tactical kill. But I'm curious to see what Kumo's plan is here, hanging out underground.
Now, I did just hear footsteps. It did sound like it was above him. Might be a scav towards the front. He may be wrapping around, hitting those front offices. There are about 3 or 4 computers here.
I'm gonna take a peek here. I wonder if the footsteps he heard were from the offices, someone in there looting. And I think Kumo's gonna go check now.
Very, very nice kills there. Picking up 2 scabs, working his way. Now, he is running past a lot of computers right now, though.
What a terrible time to run out of stand.
It's also very possible that Kumo might not play the map a lot. I'm not completely sure what Kumo's main map is. Or maybe Kumo just has a plan, and they're going to stick to it. And you'd love to see that, too. If you got a plan, sometimes you got to play it out and see how it goes. So I don't know what the thought process is right here, but I'm sure there's something behind it.
Oh, the poor DVD drive, just not cared about anymore in modern PC builds. Nobody wants them. Nobody needs them. It's a sad day for us. Boomers at heart. We used to live by them.
What's up, my dude?
Exactly. Show my age now.
I mean, how else was I supposed to put Warcraft 3 on my computer without a CD drive? Trey is in it again. Absolutely demolished. I don't know what he's fighting or who, but he is bleeding. Got a heavy bleed. Lost an arm and a leg, and his stomach. Looks like it may have been right here, and they've been going at it for a little bit.
These are 2 very good players.
Yes, both extremely good players. But do I recall correctly, Ash? Wasn't it Trey who killed Zier in the labs?
To be honest, I don't remember exactly. I was too heartbroken over seeing Trey go down in a bad spot. It blurred my memory about Trey in the last one. I'm trying to forget it, but this is a great battle, just in general. Whether there was history from the last match, Trey, like I said, is very good. Xerox is also super talented, so I'd love to see this fight last a while. Trey's just really got to button up his stomach, his arm and leg. It's been a tough run for Trey so far, but he has a lot of talent. I think he'll bounce back. I'd like to see him heal all the way up and continue this fight with Zier.
Where's Trey's armor?
Does he have a rig? Maybe an armored rig?
No. He has a black rock on. Trey has no armor, chat. Supposedly, Trey's armor was 0, so he dropped it, which is smart, because that is going to reduce any of that blunt damage that he may be getting. Zier getting into a fight with somebody else. We are being told that people are dying all over the map right now. We are being told that Sheaf has picked up another one and that Vibri has gone down. We're going to go ahead and jump into this fight with Zierhawk. He is fighting all around Trey right now, giving Trey the opportunity to heal up, and you never want to give a good player that chance.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But if scavs are coming in, there's nothing Zierhawk can really do besides kind of fight them off and try to find a good angle.
No, dude,
Here we go again with the scavs. See, exactly what I was just talking about. There's not much Zierhawk can do, and they're coming in from all angles.
That's very true. And honestly,
Oh
Trey should be thinking these scavs more than anything. These scavs have pushed Zier to the entire opposite side of Goshen and made him a little bit safer to move around.
Yeah, I agree. And
in here as well.
I'm very curious again to see. I was too worried about looking at the lack of armor on Trey to notice what PC parts, if any, that he has. But if he has a few, if I'm him, I might start to look to get out or maybe grab scav armor before continuing this fight. I think it's a good move for Trey to kind of push away like he was just doing.
Looks like Sheaf and Kumo are near one another. Oh, Kumo getting saved a little bit there, taking a round off of the helmet. His head is ringing right now. Sheaf deciding to back off a little bit. Here's that grenade coming out, wanting to be a little bit safer here. Went ahead and creeping back up to the doorway.
I love fights like this.
Oh, me too.
Oh, nice shot. GG.
Oh! Kumo!
I hit him.
I gotta say, that was an amazing fight. I give it to Kumo there. Kumo holding his own against Sheaf GG, the team captain for Evasion, playing that exceptionally well. Sheaf just getting a little bit earlier of a peek on him, dropping him there. Also, from what I understand, there Trey got third-partied by Razzle, and Razzle dropped Trey, going ahead and picking up a bunch of computer parts and taking the victory there.
I was prone.
Wow.
Oh, snap.
Looks like a scav is pushing towards. He's not quite sure, but he wants to keep looting. I don't know what I would do. I'd probably go get rid of that scav first because, you know how the scavs, he'll take you out with just one shot.
So with that being said, 4 competitors left
drop?
on the map. We've got Sheaf, we've got
Do I drop
Razzle,
anything?
we've got Zierhawk, and I believe Apollo is the last one. And Razzle and Sheaf are extremely close to one another. Could we be seeing more combat come out here at any
I kind
moment?
of say we leave.
Oh,
I would love to see that. I would love to see a fight between Razzle and Sheaf.
I say we kind of respect what we got and we just dip. Yeah? Right here next to Emercom. Kill a couple of scavs.
That's good to see Razzle talking through what he wants to do. We'll see if he sticks to it or last second decides to change his plans. There's a scav at the bottom right there. That's a quick little easy point. Maybe. Oh, man.
Scav
That
ever.
scav was a tank. Holy mackerel. I started to get worried. I started sweating.
I did too, because if that was a shotgun, who knows what would have happened to Razzle if that
shouldn't
scav
dip.
would have
I
got a
don't
shot
wanna go
off.
back in.
Zier's going ahead at the front, running towards more computers, but it looks like Raz talking it out with his battle mods like, look, dude, I'm good. Let's just survive. Let's just get out. Let's get with the points that we've got. I'm set. We don't need any more. But Zier going ahead and moving in through this, trying to find as many points as he can
Shouldn't get flagged for that. I mean, he laid down prone too, right? I mean, it's
last, we need to pick up those extra points as we tune in with him.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think it's a bad move for Razzle to get out. Especially with he's obviously heard a lot of shots throughout. He's killed a good amount. You got to know there's not many competitors left and that most of them are not going to extract with all their loot. So bank the loot you have. You know, bank the points you have. I think it's a good move.
Now, Zierhawk and Sheaf are on opposite sides. They're close to one another, but not quite. Sheaf's still hanging around that area. He's been this entire time trying to hit those computers, look for any extra. I love his storage management. Like I said, Sheaf knows how to manage all of this loot because he has done it so much on that grind to 1 billion. He has stacked Black Rocks. He has stacked everything in there.
Yeah, for sure. And it looks like after this raid, Xerox may be opening his own hard drive emporium. So you love to see that. We hope the best for Xerox hard drive business.
Oh, that's pretty good.
An SSD just came out. And a GPU!
Even if I die,
My God!
doesn't get those points,
You love to see it. You love to see them points add up for Xerox. Sticking in there.
Yeah.
And getting the extra loot.
He is happy about that. Razzle is confirming with his battle mod. He's like, yeah, I'm leaving. I'm good. I'm gonna dip. And that is exactly what we're seeing here. Razzle's out. He's like, nope, let's go. We'll see those points update over on the website, over at escapefromtarkov.com/evasion. See where Razzle jumps up to. But third place is still in this raid.
Just ran away.
Oh, was that a PMC that just ran across the front there? Was that Apollo? Because there's only 3, or was it a scav?
That's 2 painkillers.
I don't know. They were the Flash, whoever they were. Like the speed of light flying through. So I couldn't quite get a detailed look on it. But just to go back to that one PC that Xerox just checked. Great idea to go check the offices, make sure that they weren't looted already, because you guys know that GPUs are super expensive in-game, but in this tournament, they're one of the bonus PC parts that give you 3 points, as well as the SSD. So that one PC just gave Xerox 6 points of items if he can get out with them. So that's super, super exciting for Xerox.
Well, even if he can't get out with them because they are in his secure container, he gets those 6 points. He bagged 6 points from one computer. That is huge, Ash, in this competition. 6 points goes a long way.
Wires actually count.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, actually. Thank you for that. Yeah, 6 points, it could be a huge difference. As we saw in the first raid, the difference between first and second for the longest time was like 26 points. You're really going to want to close that gap with any points you can get, just in case you can't get out, for sure. That was a smart move by Xerox to put him there.
Now, we've got Apollo down in the bottom right-hand corner. Looks like he may be making his way over towards Extract. Now, something to note, I really like this mutant build that he's got going on. He's using the barrel drum, checking for Extract campers, but he's going through no backpack?
I am very confused.
Maybe it is.
Where's all the loot?
What just happened with Apollo? We'll find out in a second, but he has no backpack on.
Yeah, I'm curious. We can't assume it was a bad idea. Maybe he's got the biggest rig in the world with the most loot in it. But we'll have to wait and see.
I mean, there are some big rigs that are bigger than most backpacks for storage, so that is a possibility. We'll get some clarification on that in just a moment. But we got Zier going ahead, moving through the middle of the map. Zier and Chief still in this. They aren't very close, though, to one another. Looks like Chief may be moving his way towards Extract, deciding that he is good with what he has and to get out with those points.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that Chief's move right now, and I to be honest, I think it's a good move. We're under 9 minutes left in this raid. Chief has been hanging out in those back offices for a while. Racked up some points, got some PMC kills, grabbed the dog tags, and was looting a bunch of the offices. So I don't think it's a bad move for Chief to start moving out that way with a little over 8 minutes left. I'm really hoping Chief can secure the points right now. And Xerox is still by Ras. Maybe looking to add a couple more scav kills along the way. Remember, guys, scav kills are a point each. Or maybe get some
I don't have any, like,
computer loot on the way out.
Yeah, so he is moving through here. Killa may be up somewhere on this map also. Now, the other awesome thing about this, because it is solo servers, everybody spawns in together, but they don't spawn in together like they used to during our competitions. So everybody has different extracts. Zier spraying down a scav right there by Kibba. Love to see it.
Yeah, I'm curious. I don't think we saw any Killa action. You're right. I don't think we've seen any Killa fire or heard anything. I wonder if Kill is here, where he's lurking. I don't know. Have we seen anybody in Idea yet?
Check it nonetheless.
No, I unless we missed it earlier, and because we did see Razzle over there, that's where he dropped Chusky early, was at the bottom steps of Idea, but I'm not quite sure how much looting they did through there. You're picking up a couple more scavs. Now, something else I want to point out here real quick from Zier, we're not seeing him with his, well-known M1A. Zier is a huge fan of the M1A. That is normally the gun he runs always. But since maybe the changes to the way single fires work, he's decided to step away from that and decided to run this MDR instead.
Yeah, it's interesting. Now, off the top of my head, to be honest, I don't know the difference in pricing from dealers. But that could play a factor here if there's a dramatic price difference. Because you only start with so much money, and you're really focused on, obviously, looting for points. But you're looking for specific parts, so it might not help you money-wise as much as you can see all the harder. And there's another hard drive. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be great for tournament points, but how great is it for money making? You know what I mean? So it's very possible that cost is important here for the guns. I just don't know off the top of my head the price between the two.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, with that early death, I would have expected, because with Raz spawning right there, he was at the race car track, at the little go-kart track. He pushed in, killed Chusky in front of Idea steps, ran up. I'm surprised he didn't go for the offices when he was there. I'm being told that it looks like maybe Apollo looted the Idea office, so that's interesting that he decided not to go for those Idea offices after killing his biggest threat there.
That is interesting. I'm really surprised we didn't see Killa. I would have loved to see some Killa action.
Yeah, and it looks like our two last competitors in, obviously they have totally separate extracts. They're just gonna fall some scabs here, try to pick up as many points as they can. Which honestly, if you're 5 minutes left in the raid, wait, does Sheaf also have railway?
This could be interesting if so.
Can we get confirmation? I don't know if anybody in production knows, but
this could get interesting.
This could get a little spicy.
Worth it. God damn it.
I hope it's not one of those things where Sheaf just assumes that he's supposed to go railway, and then he gets over there and he's like, oh, I was supposed to go Ollie. Or maybe we're just wrong and I'm misremembering.
I'm not quite sure, but if they're both pushing railway,
another one
it could get spicy. I'm getting a little antsy waiting. But it looks like Xerox moving the opposite way right now, looking to collect some points. Maybe Xerox doesn't need railway and just came to the highway for scavs. Who knows?
I am so confused right now, and I am very worried because as our competitors push around, they are getting a little bit closer, even with Zier pushing the opposite. But he now is going back towards railway.
It was worth it. It was worth it. Fine.
Oh, yeah, are we about to see an extract fight, Ash?
I would love it. I would love to see that. There is 4 minutes left in this raid, so both of them are going to be sprinting to extract. Oh, this is going to be good. There might be enough distance where Sheaf gets out. Now, to be honest, I don't know. It looks like they're going to run right into each other.
Bring extra weights. That's why I didn't bring water.
It does. I'm getting like the one thing Zier is doing that's kind of like making this draw out a little bit is he keeps checking every single corner, every single spot. Oh, they are getting so close.
I'm going to be honest, I'm clenching so hard, I'm picking up the fabric of my seat.
Oh, I mean, Sheaf is in the lead here. Well, Sheaf hasn't crossed the road yet. So depending on the route that Zier takes, I mean, it's getting close.
Water.
My hands are sweating. Is that normal? My hands are sweating as they're pushing closer and closer. They're good. They have to intersect here. They have to.
I think it's all going to come down to if Zier checks every one of these stashes on the way out, will that buy him enough time for Sheaf to make it to extract without this fight happening?
I don't think so. I think we're about to see something.
It's looted.
Oh, that stash
And there's
was
less than
already
3
hit.
minutes.
This one's probably looted too.
And Sheaf is looking. Sheaf is looking so hard right now. He is aware of everything around him. And Zier
Make sure I get
is
the
a
extract. I
lot
don't wanna risk
more,
anything.
you know, relaxed. He's not really checking. I think Zier thinks he's the only one in, and Sheaf isn't taking the chance.
Yeah, this is wild.
Oh my
I
God.
feel my hair going gray
Fuck,
watching
we're
this.
gonna
This is causing me a lot of
Oh my
stress, and I'm
God.
not even in it right now. This should be wild. Sheep
Oh
looks
my
like
God,
he's
they
taking
should
a
be,
position right now
Sheaf
to
should be
peek.
able to see him at any minute. There's no way this fight happens, right?
It has to. It has to. For the people.
Whoa! It is happening!
They're gonna hold the extract from me, man.
That's not what happened! You both
Fuck,
just
dude.
happened to go to the extract at the same time!
This is wild.
I should have just let them extract.
Woo!
GDs. Oh, that sucks so bad. GDs. That
Oh,
really sucks.
Zero down! Let's see it
I
from
should have
Sheep's
shot
point
at
of
them.
view, how this unfolds!
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. The lead up was worth it. Right at extract.
I think I got him.
I don't know if Sheep's got to hurry up if he wants to get that tag and still get out, though. There's only 45 seconds left right now. And Sheep's not sure if he even got him.
Sheaf needs to make a decision now. This is not. This is very dangerous. 30 seconds left on the clock. This isn't over yet. Sheaf is going to grab the tag very quickly. Is he going to have time to get out, though? He needs to grab his bag. 30 seconds left. He still has 7 seconds in the extract, so he needs to be in there by 7 seconds.
Where's my
He
bag?
doesn't.
Give me
Where's
the bag!
It's right there, Sheaf.
Oh, he's really cutting it close. He's really cutting it close. Oh, man.
Oh, he just makes
fuck,
it.
man, that was
Oh, wow.
Less than 1 second on the clock. Oh my God,
All
Sheaf.
about the timing. Execution.
Wow. Wow.
Survive with less than a second left on the clock.
Wow. Let's go.
Oh my God, I am
You love to see
speechless.
that.
Sheaf cutting it so close, just bringing it down to literally 1 second left in raid. Zier calling it exactly what he should have done. He said, hey, I should have just let that guy extract. I shouldn't have shot. And that would have been the difference between where he's at on the leader or the points board and what has happened now. Chief didn't even get to loot him. Zier had so many DVDs or hard drives in his backpack that would have been huge points, but there was just no time to do it. Wow, Ash, give me your thoughts. What's going through your head right now?
No, that was awesome, and it was good thinking by Sheaf to not loot, because at first I'm thinking, grab something, right? But the fact that Sheaf couldn't find his bag, if he would have looted, he wouldn't have got out. So it was a very, very, we'll either say good or lucky call to not loot the bag. But what a wild end to a great raid. There was so much action early, and I love that it was able to end with a bang. And 1 second, why doesn't that ever happen to me? Mine always says I'm missing in action. I gotta get what Sheaf's on.
Oh man. Now, I am so pumped. Let's take a look at this scoreboard, see where things have changed. Now, something to note, Chusky is still in first after that first raid where he scored 58 points, even dying early on this map. He still holds first place with the Apollo sitting at 55 and Sheaf jumping up to 51 after that near miss of the extract. Something I am being told also, I do want to clarify that even though Zier had those 6 points in his butt, in his secure container, because he died, those don't count. It just denies those points to another competitor. He can sell that stuff to make a little bit of rubles to try to buy some gear, but that stuff does not count if they die. So he did not get those 6 points. Man, this is insane. This is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that loot is still worth to sell, like you said, to try to grab any money you can, especially after going down and losing your gear. But yeah, it's crazy that they were able to meet up at the end, and it's really crazy to see how much one good raid can matter. You know, Chusky didn't put up any points in that raid, and is still in first place. The margin is a lot smaller, but it makes someone like Chusky a little more okay and not less frazzled to go down, knowing that you have that comfort and that you can get that comfort moving forward. You know, one big raid on Shoreline really puts you ahead, you know, and kind of give you that comfort moving forward and that kind of security blanket.
Well, and this is another thing that is great for all of the other competitors is we can specifically say, hey, guys, just because you died early, maybe you died in 2 raids, that doesn't matter. As you can see, one raid can put you back into this competition very, very quickly. You just need to make sure you're taking out other people along the way.
Yeah, for sure. And nobody on this score sheet right now is out of it by any means. Out of it by any means. You can see Hallie Lion, who's sitting right now in the 11th spot and in first in one raid potentially. You know, one raid could put Lion in the top 3. So it's still anyone's game. There are a few more rounds left, so I'm curious to see how they're going to play out. I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, me also. And with that being said, though, let's take a look as we get ready for our next map and where we may be going, because there is still 3 more maps to come. And with that being said, Moonshine Shooting, do me a favor, seeing as it is Shoreline. Ash, go ahead and tell everybody at home exactly what we can expect on Shoreline.
Oh, some moonshine shooting. You love to see it. Now, all 12 players will be on Shoreline in the daytime. Hopefully, they get good weather on a 25-minute raid. Now, the objective is Jaeger has hidden hatchling moonshine in his stashes. Moonshine can either be used for the special benefits they give or extracted for points. Kill any scavs and PMCs in your way for points, and multiple moonshines may be looted. Once again, you can start with any loadout, just no Reap-IRs, Fleers, or T7s. And the points are very similar. 1 point per scav kill, 1 point per PMC kill. Dog tag on extract is 2 points per. An extract is 3 points. And every moonshine you come out with is an additional 3 points.
Yes, lots of points coming up, lots of moonshines. Now, this is something that has been kind of a, you know, I want to point out that some of our competitors, when we showed them this, they were like, wait, there's stashes on Shoreline? And that hurt me a lot as somebody who specifically puts out content based off of stashes on Shoreline. You can make a lot of money on stash runs on Shoreline. Guys, learn where the stashes are. There's a lot of them. You can make a lot of money. And if you are in this competition either this weekend or next weekend, maybe make sure you learn those runs specifically for this map, because, man, moonshines are a lot of points, and there's a lot of them. You should definitely learn very quickly. So I'm excited to see who has done research, who has learned these stashes, and who already knows these stashes.
Yeah, you're going to see some map knowledge here, but I wouldn't be surprised if some studying went on, because I'm going to have to study this. I hate to put you down on it, but I think I know 1 or 2 stashes on Shoreline, so I'm going to have to study up, and I'm sure these other competitors, they're good at the game, and they're very smart, so I'm sure they prepared accordingly. But I just love a rule set like this, really showing what the private servers can bring, where they can mix and match what goes into each stash, and having the moonshines in there as like a special gift for 3 points each. It's just super cool to see.
It truly, truly is. Now, remember, everybody at home, that the competitors today are fighting for those top 3 slots to move on to our championship on Sunday. So, as it stands right now, Chusky, the Apollo, and Chief are sitting in the top 3, and they would be moving on to Sunday, but we have 3 more maps. We have a lot that could happen. Any one of these competitors can make it into those top 3 slots and fight for that prize money, which is... you know, man, I just love this. I love this format. I love what we're doing here in the semifinals at Evasion, getting all of these competitors to just, I mean, first time we ever qualified, the qualifier was something that was very difficult, especially for a lot of our bear competitors. Are you a USEC or a bear, Ash, when you play Tarkov?
Well, first of all, don't disrespect me with that question. Of course I'm a USEC.
Okay, I'm proud of you.
But yes. But yeah, that had to be tough for Bears. The first qualifier or the Lighthouse qualifier is just it's crazy. It's crazy in general, and being a Bear is definitely not going to help you.
Yeah, I mean, Hallie Lion, one of our competitors today, he is a bear, and I just remember every time I tuned in, he just seemed distraught because he was in so much pain during the qualifier, but he made it here, and we'll see what he can do as we tune in here with Kumo14 on Shoreline. Let's see where he spawned at and where he's going to run.
There's a couple things that are really interesting with this.
It looks like he's over here by the path to Lighthouse.
This tournament.
Does he know the stashes on the side? Knowledge putting to the test very quickly here.
So that is something, if you can.
Yeah, you would know more than I if Kumo is heading directly towards a stash. I'm hoping to see a lot of open field fights here with not a lot of cover, and you know, maybe we'll see some aim training going on.
Yep. Oh, Kumo getting into it very quickly, finding somebody else who spawned, and it was Razzle Diz taken out very fast. What an amazing AKM shot by Kumo, dropping Raz. VP through that class 5 armor just doesn't matter. Cuts it like paper. Huge kill there.
We're going to.
Yeah, and it's cool to see because Razzle was holding that angle and kind of caught Kumo off guard, and I think that was a great play by Razzle to do that. And Kumo was put off guard and still was able to snap over and get the kill. That's impressive. That's impressive. You love to see it. Gets my blood flowing.
It does. And you can always tell some of these competitors that have been playing Tarkov for a long time or streaming Tarkov for a long time, because they'll just get a kill like that. They'll get into it and then go talk right back to talking to chat like nothing happened. Just go ahead, grab those dog tags. Just, you know, hey, I'm in a competition. That's okay. I just murdered a man. That's all right. What's going on, chat?
Yeah, exactly. And we're learning here, because of that, Kumo is a stone cold killer. There's no emotion with that kill. Back to business as usual. And you love to see it. It really will help Kumo keep the focus on the initial plan here.
Yeah, and we can just see how that BP shredded Raz's armor at 57.5% down to nothing. But also look at Kumo's armor. Kumo's armor is down to 5.
Yeah, 5.4 Gazelle is not going to help you much. And that brings up a point. I'm surprised we're seeing so many Gazelles. Only because they don't repair as well. Obviously, I believe they're better armor than Karun. But I don't know. For the price, I might go Karun just because it'll last you a while.
Yeah, we got Chusky over here hitting a stash early. Looks like he may have already grabbed a couple of moonshines. Chusky knows the stashes. Look at this. Now, Chusky did think he heard something. We got Apollo over here also. Let's see how this fight unfolds. Oh, we got Trey putting shots on. Here it comes now. There's the shots that Trey put on to Chusky. Looks like Chusky goes down to Trey as Trey goes ahead and grabs that tag we see in the bottom, opting out for the gun. See if there's any moonshines left. Doesn't look like it. Really smart by what Chusky did, because remember, Chusky doesn't get those bonus points because he died. If I remember correctly, but he does deny Trey a bunch of moonshine points.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough for Trey that Chusky had time to put that, even that last one in, because each one is 3 points. And Chusky already had 2 in. He was able to fit that last one in right before that happened. But yeah, very smart.
Ooh.
And Trey's under fire now.
Trey going ahead and getting into the shed, stopping that heavy bleed. See if he pops any kind of meds. Looks like he may already have some going. Couldn't tell if he had popped a Propitol or something early. More shots coming in, moving around.
This is getting hairy. I like it.
Something Trey does extremely well is make sure that he repositions away from wherever the person last thinks that he was, so it gives him time to heal safer without the competitor knowing where he's healing. Very, very smart move by Trey here.
I was watching a video and there's a stash around here. I just don't know where, bro.
Now, I am being told that Kumo may have just killed Breezy.
In here somewhere.
So that is going to be 2 kills for Kumo for the day on this map.
Kumo could put together a good run here, especially if Kumo knows the stashes. I wonder if following in Chusky's footsteps, if those stashes are already checked, whatever way Kumo's going. But we'll see. It could be a big round here for Kumo.
And that's what we were saying. All any of the competitors need is one big round to put them back into this competition to see how it unfolds. Trace playing this very smart, very slow, listening at every turn. He knows he's being shot at. He doesn't want to get too aggressive. He hears fighting off of from the distance where he was being shot from, but he doesn't want to get too aggressive. He wants to play this smart. Let's see how much research Trey did, though, about these stashes and see if he starts pushing out of here or if he just wants to take that fight.
Now, I may not be remembering correctly, but I believe we did see a Trey tweet about being one of the few that didn't know there were stashes on Shoreline. So let's hope Trey did his research and that he remembers what he has studied on this map.
All right, we're going to go ahead and bring up Disciple down here in the bottom right-hand corner, Ash. Looks like he is on the opposite end of the map over by the train. There is 2 stashes right up there. There's one up on the train tracks, a little wooden crate. Looks like he may have heard some movement. Let's see what he gets into here.
Yeah, there seems to be some stalking here.
Oh,
see it.
He hears Zier. Zier is running down to the stash. Can Lost pick this up?
Gonna wait.
Wait.
Oh!
And he just takes the
Good.
easy shot.
Great patience by Disciple, and that is going to be a play style for something like this where people have to go to a general spot for the points. Disciple now figuring out that Xerox tag cannot go in the pouch. It's going to be everyone's going to try it, because it's second nature. But I think I'm surprised we didn't see more of that so far. Because really, you want to build up points. There's money on the line. So that tactic does not surprise me, and it's good to see Disciple get some points there.
What is that I hear on Sheaf's stream? Is that an airdrop?
Sounds beautiful. Like music to my ears.
Ooh.
I wonder if anyone's going to go for it.
I don't know where this one's at.
That is the curious thing that I am wondering. Sheaf is looking for the stash. The stash is actually up a little bit further. Sheaf, you're going to want to go past the rock on your left. It's between a tree and a bush.
I don't know 'em all.
You're almost there, right there to your right. There you go. It's right there. I told you I will run way too many stash runs here on Shoreline. I will tell you exactly where they're all at.
I love to hear it. And I'm learning. I'm learning right now, too. And it looks like Sheaf has 5 moonshines. Now, like I said, I'm curious if anyone's going to go for the airdrop because equipment's kind of limited, with no flea market and stuff like that. And you want to build up money, but you also want to put some gear on. So I think the airdrop is more valuable than before, but it does get a little riskier being in competition. You're really going to want to bank the moonshine. Who knows if it's worth the risk that somebody may be watching it.
Yeah, I mean that is the question here, because you know if you get shot at while you're at that, it is a competitor shooting at you, and you're putting yourself at a huge disadvantage where it's like, okay, if I die, especially in Sheaf's, situation, he has what, 5-6 moonshines in his backpack right now. If he dies, somebody gets those points. That is a lot of points to give to somebody for free. He does hear shots over to his left. It looks like he's going to go try to take a little bit of a peek possibly and maybe pick up a kill here. See how it works out. Is that sniper scav popping at somebody?
I think it could be. Now, like you said, oh, there we go with the bag drop. Smart, in case, like you said earlier, if Sheaf goes down, those moonshines will not be on the body for someone else to grab. But if you're Sheaf, be honest, I don't know if it's worth pushing for the extra loot, because remember, Sheaf did get out of both raids so far, so Sheaf will not be hurting as much on ammo, guns, money. So I would try to bank those 5 or 6 moonshines, because you're looking at 15 to 18 points there.
Very, very true. Sheaf. Now, one thing I will note is I feel like Sheaf maybe should have dropped his backpack next to a marker, such as a tree that's a little bit easier to find, instead of in the open field. Because if he goes back, we saw him have a hard time finding his backpack on that last map, getting out with 1 second left. But he is stalking somebody. He wants this fight. He wants these points.
Yeah, and Sheaf's good enough to go get those points, so I'm curious to see how this fight's going to play out, but you're absolutely right. Sheaf dropped his bag in a corner last time on, like, sand or dirt. Very easy to see. And this time decided, you know what? Let's throw it in some high grass. So I hope this doesn't come back to bite Sheaf.
He's playing it so smart. He's playing it so cautious also, which, I mean, if there has ever been a time to play cautious and value your life, this is it. This honestly reminds me of pre-flea market Tarkov so much, because when you died with stuff, you valued it so much. And that's exactly what Sheaf is doing here. He is very cautious. He's playing it very slow. He values his life here because he knows that one death could cause somebody to catch up to him and take his 3rd place slot that he's sitting at right now. We have Hallie on the other side of the map running around where all of that death and destruction happened early. Is he okay though? Because he is running right at all of that fighting early.
I dropped my bag, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about valuing the gear a little more, but everyone's got to remember, there is money on the line here. Do whatever you can to stay alive. Everything is respectable to me. When there's money on the line, everything is respectable. Any kind of play style, if you feel it's right for the situation, then it's smart, and I like it.
Overwatch in the stash.
Very, very true. I mean, regardless of what anybody at home or any of the general public want to say, these guys got here because they know how to play Tarkov. They put up the high scores. They are competing for a specific reason, so they are going to play to win that money. I mean, I don't know about you. I do a lot for a big prize pool. A lot.
Yeah, I have no shame. I would do unspeakable things in this game. What I'm looking to think about is, what trees can I hide in on Shoreline? Because I don't know Shoreline super well. So when I'm looking up the stashes, maybe I'm gonna look where I can hide the best.
True. I mean, you do what you need to. Hallie is playing this extremely slow. I think he's been around this area. He has heard a lot of these fights. He's decided to just play it a little bit, cautious. I like the M1A choice, one of my favorite guns in all of Tarkov. It does look like Apollo is over here. I believe Apollo may have dropped Trey earlier, and picked up even more tags, more points. Apollo is absolutely killing it, coming out one of our new competitors, and been slaying all day in this competition.
And one interesting thing to look at is it looks like Apollo has 5 dog tags right now, which are points.
Just in case.
Those are gonna add up, because each dog tag is 2 points. But there's no moonshine. 5 dog tags and 0 moonshines. That's very interesting to me.
Now, I want you to take a look at this. Hallie and Apollo are circling each other. They are getting extremely close. We might be getting a fight here on our hand.
I would love to see this.
Duffel,
I would love to see
Looks
this.
like
Apollo's been great, and Lion, like I said, is no pushover. This could be a very entertaining fight if it commences.
How much time we got?
Hallie going ahead and pushing away from those
Lion
buildings,
seems
though.
north.
Don't know.
That's the swamp, so we're
Don't
fine.
know if he's going to actually take
to
this
the
fight.
south.
He's decided to push away. Maybe he's looking for there is a stash by that broken down house. He ran by. It may have already been checked. Maybe he already checked it. Is Hallie going to push out to Scab Island, though? Because there is a stash out on the island that he could have checked. Apollo hearing that, throwing a grenade. Maybe just trying to push Hallie away, say, nah, I'm here. This is my area. Back off.
Shot. Dude,
Maybe,
I forgot.
or try to
Moonshine
draw a
can be
Lion
probably
in.
set
You know,
contained.
a grenade going off can be
They did high
tantalizing.
points, but I
You
don't
know,
think it gives them
sometimes it
points.
makes you want to push over if
So, that's
you
probably
had
what it
second
was.
guesses. But
Why not
I'm
finding
curious
them?
if Lion has moonshines right now. I don't remember, or I didn't see Lion's stash or inventory. So
I appreciate you, homie.
maybe Lion is going for the
Thank you, man.
stashes and trying to bang out some extra points, because you got to remember,
where's the
Lion
airbag?
has not been super fortunate yet in this run today. So any points will matter.
10
Any
minutes.
points will matter, and I think it's
Got
quite all
tags.
right to bank
Going
some
for
moonshine points and
tags.
get out just to get on the scoreboard.
Now, it is breaking my heart watching Hallie run by a couple of stashes. I specifically know that nobody is hit because nobody ever hits them. I don't even think most of the community know that they're there. There's one specifically on the little outskirt island in that pond that juts out there. There's a wooden crate there that nobody ever checks, and there's a ground stash there that nobody ever checks because it's kind of dangerous to go to, but it is there, and everyone has ran past it, and it's breaking my heart over and over watching them. But Hallie did hear that grenade,
think we
and
have
it does
time
look
to
like
make it
he
to the
has
middle of the
decided
map.
to push that direction to see if he can get that fight. As we bring up on the scoreboards right now, Chusky is still sitting at 58. The Apollo
right.
sitting at 55. With
Hopefully we
Sheaf
don't
sitting
get
at
sniped out
51.
here.
These are being updated live over on the website. Make sure you guys head over to escapefromtarkov.com/evasion as we tune in with Sheaf. Sheaf has done his research. He knows where the stashes are.
That one doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, that one was hit already. And I don't want to break your heart any more than some of these competitors
They
have
walked
with their
forward
stash
anyway.
knowledge. But I didn't know there were any stashes over there either. So
I'm assuming they hit the one behind me to my right.
I'm with them here. I would run right
That's
by
okay.
him. This is showing that maybe studying and some research beforehand could be super, super helpful.
I'm gonna go check.
Now, I'm hoping that tomorrow morning for your event, because I believe you are on the first event tomorrow, Group C. I'm expecting to see an entirely different Ash, right? I'm expecting you to know exactly where every stash is and have a route in less than 24 hours.
Very possible. I'm actually in Group D, so I get the last. I get the last slot. But yeah, this you're gonna see an Ash you've never seen before. Maybe one that survives. So we'll start there, but also
Pretty sure it's
Loot Goblin. That seems like a very viable tactic here. Loot Goblin tactic could win.
Very true. Looks like we've got Lost down in the bottom right. He is heading along the main highway over towards the, over towards the docks down there. Trying to see if he sees anything. Might have saw a scab running around. I say docks, but pier, docks, either or.
Yeah, I'm curious what Disciple's locking in on right now.
I'm being told, and I see in chat, Killer Squirrel saying Sheaf did learn the stashes for the event. He went over them yesterday.
That is very smart. And if you guys don't know, Sheaf does store all his knowledge in his mustache. There's a lot of room there for quick knowledge. So it's good to see him use it.
All right. Well, sorry about that.
Fighting yet another one. Sheaf is just racking up on these moonshines. I really hope he's towards extract here. He doesn't really. I wouldn't really worry about any more stashes to put myself in danger and just get out. That is a lot of points in Chief's backpack.
Yeah, we're looking at 21 points just in Moonshine, and Extract would be another 3. 24 points is respectable. I'm really vibing with the loot goblin technique. It makes sense. It makes sense. It really does, and it's also showing you that's a lot of points, but it's showing you how valuable the labs raid is with with all the players kind of condensed together and all of the raiders. How those points can really add up early. So that labs raid is serving as a very, very important part of this whole tournament.
Very true. Now, something I do want to know, if you guys do remember when we had our very first ever private event, it was our trios here specifically on this map. We forced a lot of the competitors to go to the resort. I like that we have changed this map specifically to force people not to the resort. The resort is such a high traffic PvP area. Everybody knows it. You know the fights that are going to happen there. But when you force people outside of that, it's interesting to see the change in their play style and their knowledge of Tarkov as what Tarkov is in general. I mean, PvP is just technically a small aspect of Tarkov. It's a loot game. It's a loot shooter, and knowing these loot spots really changes the play styles and the knowledge base of the players.
Yeah, and it's interesting in general because, like you said, everyone goes to resort. This is a way to make people uncomfortable as well. You know, fights you're not used to taking out in the open, not much cover. It's cool to see the fights happen because it's not usually where you see them. You know, so it's giving everybody watching at home too a different experience.
There's 2 over there that I could hit.
You're exactly right. It's very cool to see the way this was set up. Loot is very important in Tarkov, but the other maps have a lot of PvP focus, so it's good that we were able to break it up here for this evasion tournament and give a little bit of everything.
Very true. Now, Lost went down towards the pier boat. Looks like he was going to possibly take it, but it doesn't look like he's going to have time because it's not open. So now he has to try to run with 4 minutes left on the clock all the way to the tunnel extract. Now, he does have time to make this. You can make this run in less than 4 minutes, but he has to be very smart with his stamina. He has to be very smart with what he needs, how he needs to move. But he did drop a lot to make this run. Because remember, they don't have max endurance, they don't have max stamina, they don't have max strength. So it's going to be a little bit harder for them to make this run. He is cutting it extremely close, as is she.
Yeah, and we're kind of seeing the tactics going in on Disciples' end, kind of watching the stashes. It worked against Xerox, but you do kill a lot of time waiting around. And right now, Disciples only got 3 moonshines and 1 dog tag. So it's interesting to see how different tactics might cost you, because it seems smart on the surface. You know, people are going to go to the stash. Watch the stash. Makes sense. But you got to think time. You got to think time in something like this. The duration of this was only 25 minutes. And now we're under 3 minutes already, and Disciples running for his life for extract.
So I'm kind of
exactly. And with that being said, Disciple did drop his armor, and we know Sheaf is a extract murderer after the last raid, dropping Zier at that extract. Is he going to have a repeat and drop Lost at this extract, or with Lost at a disadvantage like he is with no armor going to be the one that gets Sheaf? This could change very quickly the entire scoreboard, how this unfolds here in the next 2 minutes.
We need moonshine like crazy. We got to survive this raid.
I'm curious to see how it plays out. That I still can't get over that interchange extract fight, and it was cool to see because nobody was extract watching. They just ran into each other there.
Oh, you're such a sweetheart.
Now, something to know. Also, I do want to point out, Hallie Lion is still in this raid. He is still on that side. Also, there is a lot going on. There are fights. I believe our last few competitors are all on this side of the map now, pushing towards extract.
I wouldn't expect some new guy running down the shoreline.
Hopefully
Looks like
nobody's telling other people where you're at, though.
Extract going ahead and getting
Going
out.
telling other
If
streamers,
this
then
would
I'm
have just
fucking
been a
dead.
little bit separate, like a little bit different in timing,
Oh, is it?
we
Okay.
might have seen a fight here at
I've had that happen
Extract
before.
once again,
So I'm
but
like,
that is not happening. Lost is taking his time, waiting. Sheaf is out with all of those moonshines. We'll see the scores update very, very soon.
Yeah, Sheaf had 9 or 10 moonshines last I saw. That's a ton of points. Plus the extract, another 3 points. Sheaf just piled it up a little bit.
Sheaf did just pile it up. The scoreboard has updated. Sheaf has jumped into first place after that, surviving 3 raids in a row, sitting at a total score of 87.
Oh, God.
With Apollo in second right now with 70, and Chusky holding on to that third spot with 58.
You love to see it, and I don't know for sure, but there could be some magic in that beautiful jersey that Sheaf is wearing. But he did talk a lot of trash coming in, and he's backing it up. He's backing it up, so you got to respect it.
It is what it is. I don't know what I scored, but I got 1 kill.
You have to respect it. Lost has gone ahead and got out, picking up that 1 kill on Zir, surviving his first raid of the day. We'll see how many points that gives him, because remember, he did drop his armor. He did drop his backpack, but when he dropped his backpack, he made sure to grab the important things, and that is moonshine. We all know how much moonshine is important to us on a daily basis, so you got to get it and get those points. Man, that was such an interesting map and an interesting round. We really forced our competitors out of their comfort zone. How do you think they did?
I thought it played out well. And like I alluded to before, it's nice to see this rule set for this map take it in a different direction. More open fights, and they were entertaining. A couple players caught off guard, a couple players able to win those fights. And you got to see a bunch of different play styles. You know, you got to see the more tactical, watching play style and kind of waiting and stalking. You also saw a lot of running around. But it was good to see loot to the forefront, more so here. Obviously, the last one, you still have to find the PC parts, but it's an indoor map. You're going to run into people more. This was cool to see everyone run around, and I hope everybody took notes on where these stashes are, because I know I'm going to be looting them from now on.
And we have seen a bunch of competitors in the chat today. Looks like they are out here spectating, trying to see what their opponents are doing in case they do move on to our championship round, which is Sunday. Because remember, chat, each day the top 3 will be moving on. Let's take a look at that scoreboard and see exactly where our competitors are sitting and who, as of right now, will be moving on. And it is Sheaf, like I said earlier, sitting at 87 points. Apollo not far behind, 17 points. That is very much striking distance at 70. And then Chusky still holding on to those 58 points. I mean, this is important to note for a lot of future competitors, how important that very first labs run is. Chusky scored all of these points off of that labs run and is still sitting in the top 3 after having 2 raids back-to-back with not as great of a showing. So, with that being said, lots of points spread out, lots of people still in this. Lost Disciples points will be getting updated because he did get that survive. He did get those moonshines. He is sitting in 6th. Man, I like it. I like this so much. This has been a great show. We are getting so much of the things that we love here at Evasion, watching our competitors fight it out for these points. Guys, if you are enjoying the show, make sure you head over to all of our socials, hit that Twitter, hit that Instagram, TikTok, and if you've missed anything and you want to check it out, the VODs will be available at evasion_GG on YouTube, so you can go back and watch your favorite highlights. Maybe go back and watch where some of the stashes are, because I have found out that a lot of you at home don't know where stashes are, and that worries me a lot. But with that being said, we are moving on to our next map, getting ready for customs during the day here. Boss's Treasure. Now, this is a map that is going to specifically show you what the power of running on a solo private server is. We can do some really unique things. As you saw with the moonshines and the stashes, this is something else that's unique. Dude, Ash, do me a favor. Tell people at home what this raid's going to be like.
And I would love to, because this is the one I'm most excited for because of the customization. So all 12 players will be on customs during the day. Hopefully good weather again. It's been good weather all day. Time limit once again is 25 minutes. Now, here's the thing. Rashala has stashed his golden TT in the new gas station office. You got to kill Rashala somewhere near construction site to get the gas station office key off his body. Then you got to use the key to get the golden TT and extract with it for points. Kill all PMCs and scabs in your way as always. Starting loadout is the same, any loadout, minus repires, flares, and T7s. And the points are relatively the same for kills. Scav kill, 1 point. A PMC kill is 1 point. Each dog tag you extract with is 2 points. Remember, you cannot put them in your pouch. Rashala kill is 5 points. Guard is 2 points. Extract is 3 points once again. And the golden TT, this is gold right here. That is 10 points if you get out with it.
10 points. I mean, at this point in this competition with 2 maps left, 10 points is a giant amount. I mean, you look at just the separation between first and second, 10 points would close that gap down to 7 points and put Apollo even closer to that. So this is going to be interesting. 1 Rashala on the map, 1 Rashala Golden TT on the map, 2 locations forcing our competitors all over this map. I'm interested to see how people are going to play this out, because you're forced to go here. This is it. This is what this map is about. I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, Ash, like, do I get into a position where I know I can kind of like watch over Fortress and get shots on 2 people that may be going for Rashala and then pick it up later? Or do I try to get in fast, get the kill, get the key, and get out? Like, I don't know what I would do. What about you?
To be honest, I go for Rashala. That is the move. Now, it's interesting. Like I said, I love how customized this is, where you know where Rashala is going to be. You know, you have to grab something off his body and go to another location that you know of. That is super interesting for me, because everyone is going to know where the general point of interest is. But that is a lot of points. Rashala's 5, and each guard is 2, and there's only 1 of them. You know, there's only 1 Rashala. There's only 1 of each guard. When they're dead, those points are gone. So, yeah. To be honest, it sounds smart to want to watch players running up and shooting them. And sure, if you hit your shots, you can stop them from killing Rashala. But to be honest, I think it's worth getting the points and trying to get that key and hightail the hell out of there.
Yeah, I mean, that is the thing that you pointed out that I hope that the competitors have thought about. There is a very, very limited amount of points in this map. I mean, there are a lot of points in this map to be had, especially if you kill, you know, Rashala, that's 5. If you get the golden TT, that's 10. If you get 2, like, there are a very, very large amount of points, but limited. And it's going to come down to spawns, and it's going to come down to how people push these from each fight. As we tune in here with Fabrizi getting that corner spawn, he is going to want to push as fast as he can over towards Rashala and the boys.
Yeah, this is not... I mean, I guess this isn't the worst spawn. This is actually not that bad of a spawn if you know he's at construction. It's actually kind of curious to see Breezy taking his time. Like, I thought the move would be to sprint there. You know what I mean? The sprint there to try to get those points early, because those points are gone once they're gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's going to be curious to note where everybody spawned and who is going to get those, you know, those fortunate spawns of like a little bit closer to the action. I believe that we heard a shot close to Breezy. I just want to heard something.
It could have been towards construction. Now, if someone got the smugglers area spawn, they're right there. They're right there. And same with the Ruaf. Those would be the 2 spawns that I would want to get. Ruaf probably being the best spawn to have for this. A lot does come down to luck here for where you spawn to get those boss points.
Yep, it does sound like we have some fighting right inside of construction. Breezy's being very cautious. I think another thing for Breezy right now, he's being extremely cautious because of what's happened in the first 3 maps for him. But I want to take a note. Sheaf is not far away from Breezy. They are right on top of each other. They
Yeah, this is
hear
very
each other.
interesting. I think Sheaf may have just seen Breezy and prepped a nade for him.
He did.
It looks like he
went
does
ahead
see
and
him.
popped Breezy's legs. Ash.
My legs.
Was that an underhand we just saw?
That was an 67.
Breezy's firing back.
Oh my god.
Oh! Sheaf
Oh
takes
my
down another.
gosh, Breezy. Oh, I thought Breezy had that. I thought he had the drop. I felt that fight was 100% going Breezy's way, but Sheaf is showing him why he is the captain of Evasion, why he is a competitor in every one of these events, and dropping Breezy. Unfortunately, not Breezy's day so far in this competition. Breaks my heart.
Yeah, it is tough to see because Breezy is a great player. He really is. I mean, I may have killed him on interchange while he was in a tournament, but we don't have to bring that up. He is a great player. It's tough to see it going like this so far, but Sheaf's the real deal. Sheaf is the real deal. There's no surprise that Sheaf is winning all of his fights.
Now, take a look at this. Kumo and Zier fighting it out over here where Rashal and the boys should be somewhere around here. Going ahead and getting shots onto that. Oh, this fight.
This is actually, I just kind of want to sit back and relax and watch this.
I know, I have nothing to say.
Oh, I ran out of ammo.
Oh! Oh my god, Zier!
GG.
Kumo was pre-firing absolute everything. The one turn he doesn't take to pre-fire is the one that Zier is waiting for him, and Zier drops Kumo in that doorway, but Zier did not relax. He does not have a moment's notice here. There are people around, whether it is bosses or other players pushing him. He has got to be on his toes very quick, Ash.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if Xerox hears somebody else right now.
Now, I am being told that Apollo is getting into it over here. Let's see what's happening with him.
I think Apollo went down to Rashala.
Oh, Apollo is out, dying to Rashala. So that means the boys are around here like we knew they would be. It's interesting seeing how all of these competitors, that is number 2 slot out, gonna give all of the other competitors a chance to close that gap.
Xerox gotta hear something here. Xerox gotta be hearing something here to not be pushed to Rashala. You know, because the points are there. There's gotta be something that's keeping Xerox around. But like you said, Trey is in the area. Maybe that's what Xerox sniffing out right now.
Trey is up top. Looks like we are going to have Zier and Trey getting into it. Zier throwing a grenade, trying to push him off, going ahead and pre-metting. Looks like Trey is going to go ahead and put some shots over onto Zier. Does he drop him with that spray? He does, and Zier goes down to Trey.
Love to see it. I love that these two keep fighting. They are both very, very good with PvP, and it's cool to see mixed results.
Now, it is to note, Hallie has shown up to the fight. He is
like
pushing
a shark.
up. Oh, Trey hears him, though. Hallie's going to take this fight. Let's see if how he answers back.
I'm curious how this is going to go. And I think Trey just took Lion out. Oh, he sure did. What a
Hallie
shot.
Didn't even see him. Trey just had the... Oh, that is the problem with the hammer scope. When you are zoomed into it, it limits your field of view. Hallie could only see a very small area. Trey had beautiful line of sight on him using that voodoo, which is the superior scope, and just drops him easily. Unfortunate for Hallie. Hallie could have won that, had the drop. Did Trey pick up the key off of Rashala to go ahead and head over towards gas? I don't remember if he did or not. He does have that gas station off his key.
That's awesome to see. That is awesome to see. But yeah, I mean, Lion was kind of at a disadvantage there. I think Lion knew somebody was up there somewhere. Now, Trey already being up there knew exactly where Lion was going to be around. You know, heard Lion come up the steps, knew Lion was somewhere in that corner. But on Lion's end, it was just an open field somewhere.
So with that being said, Trey is 100% like, and that's an interesting to note. With the guards being upstairs and that body being upstairs, Trey did have the advantage in that fight, knowing that there was only so many locations that somebody could come up from. If he's at one set of stairs, they have to be on the other set of stairs, and it was all about trying to learn where they moved to. But we are going to go ahead and tune in with Lost over here, Lost Disciple at the back of this train over by Jump Over. He must have heard somebody, or he's looking for scavs, I believe.
Thought he was moving a little
Yeah,
faster.
I'm not quite sure. It looks like Disciple might have heard somebody, whether it's a PMC or a scav, just kind of waiting it out, playing it safe. But yeah, one thing this is showing on this map, and I hope other competitors in the future take note, is how different callouts can affect the way you read things. Because we knew Rashala would be at the construction area, you know, and in my eyes, construction's a different spot than what I would call fortress or stronghold.
Right here,
and it looked like that's where Rashala and the boys were. So it shows how different callouts could affect gameplay here.
We're gonna move.
Yeah, now something I do want to note, he's very smart. He's going ahead, he heard movement, he was looking for any kind of scavs that he thought he heard, and then he's like, well, nope, I can't get this shot, let me move and reposition. Going to go ahead and reposition and lay down, try to get eyes on where he thinks this person is going. Now, it's one of those situations, too, where, you know, if you, I want to say, like, if you think that this is rat gameplay or something like that, maybe you need to rethink how the game is played, because it's not Call of Duty. This is how you want to be tactical. As Trey go ahead and pick up the scav.
Yes, Trey added another point there, and exactly. Disciple kind of playing like a Viper right now, we'll call it. But guys, money is on the line. Money is on the line. You got to respect the way anybody plays. So, it's super curious to see everybody's play styles kind of conflicting with each other. We'll see what's going on here.
Exactly. And here's the thing, too. All of these competitors competed. They qualified. They're in it. Anybody sitting at home that may be like, well, this isn't my type of gameplay. You're not in the competition for money. Maybe if you changed your game style, you would be. But we got Trey going ahead and dropping some shots under Razzle and dropping him under that bridge. This is why Trey is one of the best PvPers in the game. That's what we like to see. Beautiful shots by Trey, playing to his strengths. Picking up so many tags. Look at all those tags that Trey is rocking right here. Oh, did Razzle kill Sheaf?
Wow. Look at these points right here. And this is what we were talking about earlier. Trey is such a good player, especially when it comes to the PvP aspect of the game. And was kind of just getting the bad end of the stick early in the tournament. So this is definitely a way for them to pick him to pick up some points. Looks like he probably got Rashala and gang. He does have the key. Has a bunch of kills, a bunch of dog tags, and is now looking for that golden TT.
Huge raid for Trey here. Just needs to go ahead and secure this golden TT and get out with all of these points. That will be a giant come up for him. And that's the great thing about this competition, is this competition showcases the different play styles and how people can play the game separately and differently and get so many different points. There's that golden TT. Here's some movement on the outside, maybe a scav. Gonna go ahead and secure up, reload mags, and get into this.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm Trey right now, I maybe pre-PK, load the mags like he's doing right now, repack all those mags, and head out. You know, you don't have anything left to prove right now. Maybe get scabs along the way, keep an eye out, but I wouldn't go looking for anything right now. I would start to head towards extract, pile up any points you can along the way, and not risk losing what you have.
Exactly. Snow Reaper on the other side where Trey had just come from. Trey is hitting a lot of shots over here, making a lot of noise. It's going to be up to Snow. Oh, find somebody in the window. Somebody's waiting.
I'd say with the number of tags you have.
doesn't know Snow has got eyes on his gun.
Towards your extract point, and then maybe kill the scabs on the way.
This is interesting to watch.
So like with the amount of points that I gotta make up, you know what I mean?
This is what we like to see, though. This is something you don't get a lot of times in competitions, is seeing it from everybody's perspectives, what is happening all at once.
Yeah.
I'm curious whose gun's sticking out of this window, who Snow's watching here, because Trey is just racking up points over here at New Gas Station.
You should
Yeah, I'm curious who's in that window. I wonder if it's just a scav.
And how much is the TT and stuff to extract with?
It's super nerve-wracking to watch because you know someone's right there and has no idea.
See, this is the problem with this run and gun play style. Is Trey is racking up a lot of points and he's getting a lot of kills, but people are hearing it. People know, like, hey, I can be tactical. I just have to wait it out, hopefully get a glimpse and put some shots on him. Luckily, the way that Trey path was a very smart, very safe way, so none of those folks that are trying to hear and get sights on him heard it, and they are moving in the wrong direction, or looking in the wrong direction, I mean. This is still happening. Snow's just holding this. I love this.
It's so tempting to just hit the fingers.
Only one, like, it's, you know what I mean?
I don't know if I'd be patient enough.
One for a scav.
I'm a very impatient person. I think I'd be taking fingers at that point.
Same as
showing them who's boss. But it's it's super interesting to watch.
I have plenty of time.
They're just playing it out here. Trey's just moving away. He's decided, yep, I'm going to move towards extract, slowing his gameplay down. He knows that there's no scavs that spawn over here. Just going to move, get his stamina back, get to extract, try to make up as many points as possible. As we tune in with Lost, checking out this window, he hears something happening. Playing it very slow, very tactical.
I'm thinking it was Disciple's gun that was sticking out the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Same
Disciple
area
trying
right
to get their shot.
Very curious about this play style for this map right now, and even the shoreline map. It's you're just not giving yourself a lot of time to get points. You know, it is playing it safe. You know, you may bank the extract points playing it this safe, but I think there has to be a little bit more urgency in Disciple's game, just for the ability to go get the points when you have a limited timer, because we have less than 10 minutes left in this raid right now.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a definitely a sense of urgency that you have to have, even with tactical gameplay. You need to know, hey, I've got to push fights. I've got to get these points. There's only a limited amount of them. I know that the bosses are dead. Looks like Disciple's already lost an arm. It's hurt. It's blacked. It's bleeding heavy. He needs to get over there and stop that. Trey's just by himself. He's just chill. He's making his way to extract. But one thing I will say about Trey is he's extremely alert right now. He's very much on high alert. He knows how many points he has. He knows he needs to get to this extract with these points to put him back in this competition. But like we've been saying, one raid can make the difference of where your standing is in it.
You're absolutely right. And Trey's doing exactly that, just piling points up along the way. This is the tactic I hoped Trey would use on the way to extract. Just don't go looking, you know, head towards extract and peek around, pick up points along the way, but don't force anything. And it looks like Trey's doing exactly that. I think it's a great move. Disciple looks like he's in a little bit of trouble. He retreated into a building here and might be just trying to get away at the moment. His chest is not looking good. He's got no arms. We'll see if he has time to heal.
He is rocking that armor that we were talking about earlier, the Karund over the Gazelle. I mean, even though the Karund is a class 5 armor, it is probably the worst class 5 armor. I personally think that a Trooper is a better class 4 than a Karund at class 5. Same with the TV-110.
Yeah, it's very interesting. To be honest, I don't think I've ever seen looked at the stats next to each other between them, but it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if that is true. I personally do wear Karun's every now and then just because how good it repairs, you know, for the price compared to like a Gazelle.
I appreciate the love.
I'm interested to look into that a little more with what you just said.
He extracted.
Now, something to note here, Snow and Lost are both still here. Lost thought Snow had extracted. Snow doesn't hear Lost, but Lost is in that bush and goes ahead and drops Snow, who peeked out to heal in the open and gets taken out. Unfortunate.
Why is this guy ratting?
Wow.
No, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
Lost going ahead and picking up that kill there.
And the thing that's crazy is I think there was an extract happening and he pulled out. Yeah, I think Snow was extracting and decided to pull out of it, and maybe sometimes if you're there, just get out.
So Chad is asking, why is the Karund, or why is the Trooper better than the Karund? And Boosh is yelling at me to respect the Karund in chat. So unfortunately, the Karund is the worst class 5 armor. Even though the plates are good and it has a great repair ability, the amount of protection that it offers you versus something like the Trooper with the material just isn't they don't equate. So a lot of people, especially newer people in this game, have a tendency to look at just what class armor is, but they forget to look at the material that protects them. And the material is a huge factor in a lot of your protection.
Go bush to bush, tree to tree, and
Karund's material is not great.
Around and get away from these guys.
Yeah, that's super interesting, and you're gonna make me look into that more too, because I do wear the Karund. I usually wear like TV-110s and stuff like that, like you mentioned. But a lot of times I do rock the Karund just because of its repairability. But you know, maybe I'll have to take a second look at that.
Yep. And that's another reason that you'll see a lot of times in the early game, people, especially more experienced StarCraft players, will rock a TV-110 all the way through until they start getting access to higher tier armors, because the TV-110 is probably one of the best class 4 armors in the game, and it's still comparable to most class 5 armors.
That's interesting. That is super interesting. That's something, like I said, I have not looked into, and
I'm not
I have to look into it. But
I always wonder what
one thing you really have to consider is style. You got to think how cool the Karund looks, and I really want that to be something that resonates with you moving forward in this conversation, because there's a lot of disrespect going on to the armor that I wear sometimes, and I'm just saying style's important. We can move past it, but I think also Trey is extracted, so we'll hop in with Disciple like we are right now and check out what's going on.
Yeah, style is very, very important. I will give you that, but I usually try to style out my head over my chest. That seems to keep me alive more. So, but as we tune in here with Lost,
it's going
ahead and making his way, 4 minutes left on the clock. Going ahead and he's thinking that I think he thinks he can make a lot of these jumps that he may be able to make on his PMC, but with the lack of weight or strength and endurance, some of these jumps just are not possible in this competition, as Disciple is finding out here.
Oh my gosh, this guy's so weak.
Yeah, I told you it would come into play. I'm surprised Disciple hasn't adapted that at one point. There is an advantage to some players who don't grind a lot of the stats too. I know personally, I may have finally hit max strength, but that is not something that I pushed for, and it might help competitors who are used to lower stats.
Yeah, very, very true. Now we can see why, you know, like Trey, this map was kind of built for Trey. I mean, Trey is a very, very knowledgeable customs player. We've seen it so many times before. It's one of his favorite maps. He slays out on it, and we saw that here. And this map is kind of like, hey, puts him back into this competition. Make sure you guys head over to escapefromtarkov.com/evasion, and you guys can keep up to date with the scoreboards live to see where everybody is. And after that run that Trey had here, that does jump him all the way up to 4th place with 44 points. Now to note, Chief is sitting at 88, Apollo at 79, Chusky still sitting in 3rd with the 58 points that he got from that labs run. That labs run was huge for him, and it's keeping him in this competition. But with that being said, he has got to put up some points because Trey is nipping at his heels very fast.
Yeah, I'm happy Trey was able to get out and bank those points to climb back in. I do want to note, let's not be toxic to the competitors. So moving forward, everyone's trying to win money here, guys. You got to remember that.
Was that the last one out?
Moving forward, but yeah, I'm glad a lot of people were able to, a couple people were able to extract and bank some points there. So it's good to see moving forward. We don't have too much left to put points up for.
No, we do not. The competition is very much coming to an end quickly, but we still have a little bit more to bring you. And like you said, Ash, guys, make sure you're being respectful to all the competitors. The competitors are competing for a reason. They actually went through the qualifiers and earned a spot here, unlike a lot of you at home who didn't even try. And I mean, what's that about? You guys didn't even try to put up points. So while you may sit at home and think that you are the best Tarkov player ever, you need to put your money where your mouth is and try to join some of the competitions in the future. We'd like to see where you fall and how your gameplay stacks up to some of these people. But if you can't do that, understand, we enjoy you sitting at home enjoying this show. Guys, make sure you follow Evasion over at Twitter, also at Evasion_GG on all of the socials, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Guys, also, let's take a look at these standings. Ash, tell the people at home, where is everybody sitting right now?
Well, I mean, obviously, in first place, we have Evasion's captain, Chief, with 88 points. Apollo is right behind him, though, with 79. Chusky, like you said, that massive labs raid to start the day, keeping Chusky in 3rd. Chusky's going to have to do something here. I believe this is the last map coming up. And Trey, like you said, is right behind. And then there is a somewhat of a gap after that. So we'll see how this plays out. But the top 4, it's anything can happen. But Chief is looking good. Chief is looking good right now, as well as Apollo.
Oh, man. And as these scores on the place card are being updated, you guys can head over to, like I said, escapefromtarkov.com/evasion. That is the most up-to-date score. All of our API gets updated in the background, a little tech stuff, and gives that updates as it happens. But the standings are correct, even though the points next to their names may not be at the moment. They will be updated shortly. But that leads us into our final map of the day. Ash, I'm excited for this one. We are closing it out quickly. But before we go over those rules, I want to once again thank our sponsors for this event, Goodies Granola and Empire Jerky. Thank you both for sponsoring us here at Evasion. We are more than happy to work with such great companies that offers great snacks to all of our competitors. Whether you need a little bit of a sweet snack for the afternoon with Goodies, or you want something a little bit more savory and getting that meat in your mouth, we offer both with these great sponsors. So thank you guys once again. Much love to all of you guys. Now, this brings us to the map that everyone qualified on. This brings us to the map, the new map, and one of the best maps we've had in a long time that I've enjoyed more than anything, Lighthouse. It offers everything from wide open areas for sniping to close quarter combat in the villas, all the way to some very, very difficult to fight, AIs. If you haven't experienced them before, they'll rock your world. And the addition of the bosses coming very soon. We're heading over to Lighthouse Air Support. So the entire point of this is they're going to recover as many OFZ shells as they can from the airdrops and extract with them. I want you to make sure you understood what I just said. the airdrops. Not just one, not just two, but multiple airdrops coming in all throughout this map. Our competitors need to get to those drops, grab as many OFZ shells as they can, and then get out. They are going to be slam loaded, but it is going to be a dangerous, dangerous thing. We are going to see how people approach this from every angle. We're going to have people sniping. We're going to have people close range. It's going to be crazy. Their loadout, any loadout. Like always, bring whatever you want as long as there's no Reaper, Fleur, or T7s. Points are as follows. Scavs/rogues, 1 point. PMC kills, 1 point. Dog tag on extract will be 2 points. Extract, 3 points. OFZ shells on extract are 2 points apiece. So lots of points to be racked up here if you get out with a bag full of OFZ shells. Ash, what are you thinking, man? How do you feel about this?
Once again, this is one of those interesting ones where that's where the custom server comes into place. For this customization, it's just cool to see something different. Now, similar to the Moonshine one on Shoreline, this is gonna be a big loot one for those OFZ shells. Like you said, multiple airdrops, and they're coming every few minutes. I think there's a possibility for 18 OFZs here, and that's 2 points apiece. You're looking at 36 points just in those shells. So I think we're going to see a lot of looting. I think we're going to see some playstyle similar to the Shoreline raid. So I don't know. I think there's going to be a mix of playstyles here. I think we're going to see a little bit of the loot goblin chief, probably, because that's what he did in Shoreline, and it worked out great for him. But I think we're also going to see a lot of people play tactically and try to push over and keep an eye on things.
Mm-hmm. And the benefit of this too is because the airdrops are random. They drop randomly. You never know, so you can't really set up anywhere. There are going to be a couple of locations that might be high value, but because they are high value locations, it also puts you in a lot of danger. We talk about Pride Rock, the rock that overlooks everything in the middle of the map. A lot of people are going to check that. They're going to be looking. So unless you have some really cheeky spot up there, you're going to be exposed, and it may not be the best way to play this. This may, I mean, it's hard to say what's going to happen when we take a look at the points down at the bottom. I mean, you talk about 36 points. 36 points swings Lost Disciple into third place, puts him into it. You look at Trey. That's going to put Trey into it, because remember, all of our competitors are vying for a top 3 slot to move on to our championship Sunday, where they will be competing for that money. And we are going in with Kumo 14 as our competitors launch into this map.
Man, I'm excited to see everybody's plan here, because I don't think there are bonus points for taking out rogues. So I don't know if the move is going anywhere near water treatment. You know, it looks like scavs are 1 point, and that's what's going to happen here.
All right, let's take a look. Oh, they see each other. Who is this?
Right off spawn!
Lost just hears him, man, but goes down early. That is lost out for the competition. When he dies this early, there is no way for him to put up points, no way for him to move up into the top 3, but does open it up for Kumo, and we already have airdrops coming in right now. Our competitors are going to push for that. He is done. That is rough for Lost.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see the airdrop. This is so cool. Such a cool event seeing the airdrops come in already and throughout the map. But playstyles are going to be important here. You know, that slower playstyle kind of puts you at a disadvantage on a map that's so open like this, and especially all spawn. And unfortunately, Disciple wasn't able to survive that. But we'll see how it goes moving forward.
Did you see Kumo's backpack, by the way?
Yeah, well, all the dollars and rubles.
He just spread the dollars out in rubles. This is the last map of the day, so the competitors are maybe being a little memey. Also, having a full backpack is going to cost whoever may kill him and force him to look through that entire bag for whatever loot might be in there. Chusky is getting into it over here right under Pride Rock, throwing a grenade over towards the shore. Don't know who he's fighting yet, but he is in it. Looks like it may be Zier. Zier went towards Pride Rock and Sheaf. We've got a 3-way fight happening over here.
Sheaf's looking right now.
Sheaf lining up.
Being smart, being patient. Sheaf being very patient here. Probably more patient than I would have been.
Yeah, I feel like I would have taken the shot already. Sheaf using that tactical lean, going ahead, just waiting to line up his shot. Zier has no idea he is in Sheaf's. Oh no, Sheaf! Sheaf didn't get him! Did he get him?
The patience! The patience!
Oh my god, Sheaf drops Zier!
Sheaf is cracked! No, that was very smart because Xerox is smart enough to always be on the move, and if you take that shot and miss, you open up your position. So that was a great move by Sheaf to be patient and also hit his shots, because you can't just be patient. You gotta hit your shots.
We have another. Chusky is still in this area. You got to remember, Chusky was in between Sheaf and Zier's fight. Another airdrop coming in as we speak. Sheaf, I think, here's Chusky. He's playing this very smart. I'm also being told right now that Trey killed Breezy, and Trey has gotten a kill also, which is good because Trey sitting in fourth wants to try to get as many points as he can to get into that top 3. Oh, they go ahead and find each other!
As soon as I left
Third place kills first!
Wow. Wow. That was huge for Chusky. Not just getting the kill on Sheaf, but like you said, it stops Sheaf from getting more points. This is big, and I think Chusky may, and I think it would have been a smart move to, have used the sound of the airdrop to kind of slide up a little closer on Sheaf. I think that was a great move, and I'm happy Chusky was able to pull out the victory there. This is exciting towards the end.
Very, very true. This is extremely exciting. This is what the last rounds are all about. Competition has been close. It's been fierce. And Chusky dropping Sheaf opens up the door to be able to maybe close in a little bit of the gap and get into that third place to get in for the championship on Sunday.
Yeah.
You love to see it. You love to see it. And Sheaf played well. It's tough to see him go out like that somewhat early in the raid, but played so well all day. And one thing I want to bring to everyone's attention, Chusky and Sheaf are fighting for top spot here, and they both have large, handsome mustaches. Now, I can't say it's all to blame, and the mustache gives all the power. But, you know, I just wanted to bring it to everybody's attention that it could be a factor that people weren't taking in.
I'm also curious, Apollo did get the memo that he doesn't need to be killing rogues, right? That was only for qualifiers. We're in the competition now, and he can go do other things. We did tell him this, right? I'm just getting clearance from production. He knows.
Yeah, it's super interesting to see Apollo. Apollo going for rogues. I would be nowhere near water treatment plant for this. I would be nowhere near. They give you. I mean, you will get points, but you get the same amount of points for killing like a normal scav. So to put yourself at risk on the laser aimed rogues, maybe it's worth the points. Apollo is close to the top, so every point does push you closer to first place. But I don't know if it's quite worth the risk. Maybe Apollo's just cracked and doesn't have a fear in the world, and is going to build up points and then push towards the other PMCs.
Yeah, Apollo is sitting at 79 points right now. So maybe an airdrop dropped over there and we don't know. And he's like, well, I got to kill all these guys to get to the airdrop. And it's just 3 points. It's hard to say. Chusky going ahead and hearing some shots. I don't think those shots are at him, but somebody is definitely getting into it. He's going to go ahead and reposition as another airdrop comes in. That is 3 or 4 airdrops on the map. Lots of OFC shells sitting around for the competitors to grab as we watch Apollo systematically take out rogues one after another.
Now, it's super interesting that Apollo is still picking off the rogues, but
FPS on this map.
it is possible that there is an airdrop over here. We have not seen where all the airdrops have landed, but Apollo is definitely trying to clear the area for some reason as he takes a look around for said airdrop.
13. Now we.
That being said, Hallie was one that we heard firing on Chusky's screen. Looks like he may have been just picking up. I can't tell if he was firing at Chusky or somebody else, but he is pushing over. He sees that airdrop off in the distance, but he is not aware that Chusky had already pushed to this side, and he is going right into Chusky's maw.
It's very interesting to see how this will play out towards the end. This is the last raid of the tournament. We have seen Sheaf go down already, but Apollo and Chusky are they're still rocking and rolling.
Assume no one's gonna get them all because pretty wicked.
That they oh no! Apollo didn't clear the one at the front, or the back. The rogue just lights him up.
This is exactly why I would have not risked 1 point per road kill for stuff like that. It also is good to have
the heavy breathing, something else.
It's good to have the knowledge of how many rogues are on each roof and inside. Maybe it was a miscount, but that is tough to see, especially being so close to first.
Chusky picking up 3 OFZ shells, but Hallie heard him, saw him possibly even over there. Chusky extremely smart, going ahead and throwing those OFC shells in his butt, saying, hey, if I die here, no one else is going to have access to these. But it looks like Hallie saw him, going ahead and popping shots. Hallie fell off the cliff. It made him lose a little bit of accuracy, which could have cost the fight. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Chusky goes down to Hallie. Chat, boys and girls at home, everybody, that is the first, the second, and the third place folks out of the competition. All three of them are out. It is anyone's chance to come back. You have Trey sitting in third place with 44 points. He just needs to rack up a couple of kills, grab some OFZ shells, and that will put him into the competition for Sunday.
Yeah, and Lion proving what I was saying earlier is he is no pushover.
Now, I do want to remind everybody at home that even though this may be the last raid for this competition, for this semifinals group, as we take Razzle over here, finding somebody, lighting them up on that road, looks like Razzle may have dropped and got a kill there. But like I was saying, this right here is the final for this group, but we will have another group coming up right after this with semifinal Group B. We will have some huge names in there.
I hate my life.
A couple of other folks, but make sure you stick around. Razzle finding another person there. Dropping Snow Reaper. Oh my God, Ash, what is happening?
It's really picked up the last like 2 minutes with Apollo going down to a rogue. Hallie Lion finally getting a kill here against Chusky, knocking Chusky out of the rest of this leg. And then Razzle right there with a nice kill. I did see Lion was tracking before we switched over, was tracking a airdrop that was just dropped. So it looks like Lion's going to go over and try to bang extra points with the OFZ. But Razzle got the kill there, and he's getting some stuff out of this. So hopefully he can use it to wrap up this leg of the tournament and maybe find Hallie Lion.
Maybe brought in 2 weapons? I don't know.
A little confused there. As you can hear from Raz, he couldn't find another tag on him, but he did see that he had 2 weapons. We've got Kumo going ahead and taking a couple of shots on the road, killing scavs, racking up a couple more points. But Raz is completely confused where this other dog tag is and why Snow had 2 guns on him. I mean, it is the last raid. These accounts get wiped afterwards. So, I mean, I guess bring whatever you got if it's going to help you.
Maybe that was the idea. I don't think it would be worth the wait to do that. But who knows? Who knows? We are not in Snow's head.
Dunk has to go. Stunt's got to go.
Now, Lion and
All right,
Razzle
we've
might
got-
be close to each other right now.
Yeah, I was just thinking that also. Hallie and Razzle looks like they're closing in. Razzle has gone ahead and found that airdrop that he believes, or that I believe he saw earlier. Hallie's getting some
Why is
position.
that in the middle of the road, man?
They are so close.
I think I saw Razzle in Lion's screen, and I don't think Lion picked up on it.
They're literally next to it, like they're right above and below. Raz is getting shot.
Wait. Are you kidding me? What the?
Oh!
Now Lion heard, and Lion's taking shots.
No.
Lion found Raz and kills him!
That would have broke my heart if Lion would have missed Raz there, because I did see Razzle walk by Lion and Lion not notice. So that would have broke my heart to see Lion go down there. Great shots there. That scav really did Razzle no justice giving away his position. That's tough for Razzle.
It truly is. Hallie going ahead. I mean, realistically, you don't need to loot anything off of your competitors. This is their last map for the day before the next group comes in for another set of this competition. But that is going to give Hallie a bunch of points, pick up a couple of tags. Also going to give him a bunch of info about who might be left in the map, who might not. Knowing that 4 tags out of the 12 are on him, that's a huge bit of information to make it maybe a little bit, you know, make him a little bit more aware that, hey, I can push for some of these. Now, Trey is on the other side towards the rogues, towards the railroad station.
Sure.
Has Trey picked up many kills or any OFZ shells besides scavs? That's what I'm curious about, because he is the closest to get into the top 3, but he does have a bunch of points to make up to get there.
Looks like he just picked up one there.
The OFC shells are so key too. Those
Pick up a
scavs are
point on
really
maybe a
good.
scav or rogue kill. Once again, very, very interesting move here. I'd be trying to look for players over scavs at this point, trying to pick up points, because you get the kill, you get the tag, which is an extra 2 points. You get the OFZ shells if they have any, which are 3 apiece. So I'd like to see Trey try to play off of listening for shots and maybe pushing it, because it is the last hurrah. There's nothing to lose here if you have to catch up points. You have to push.
That's exactly right. There is no other maps for these competitors. They have to get as many points as they can. We now have Kumo. He has spotted the drop on the road, but he is very exposed. We got another Briki running down the road, going ahead and putting some shots on him, not dropping him yet. Still missing. There we go. There was the. Oh no, he's still alive. He takes that headshot. I thought he was dead.
Got him, guys. We're all good.
Now, what's interesting here is I think this is the airdrop that Lion was watching previously, so Lion might have heard them shots.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
maybe
exactly
take
right.
shots at Kumo.
That is exactly right. This is Hallie's. Hallie has been watching over this, trying to make his way to it over and over. He's pushing to maybe get eyes because he heard those shots from Kumo. Kumo's going ahead and getting hit. Is those shots from Hallie? Those are shots from Hallie. Hallie is putting it on and drops Kumo with a bunch of shots. Beautiful. Hallie has denied everybody this package. He has said, no, it is mine. Leave it alone.
I love it. I love it. Now, I'm curious to see how many points Hallie Lion is going to accumulate here. I don't see any OFZ shells unless they're in the pouch. But one thing Lion is proving here is that it was just a rough showing early. Very, very good player here, and it's good to see. It's good to see some kills here.
It really, truly is. But with 9 minutes on the board, a little bit less, obviously, he has to make a push for some of these OFZ shells, because like you said, if he racks up and he fills an entire bag in every slot with one, that's 36 points possible that he could accumulate. I mean, I don't know if that puts him in, but it will definitely jump him up on the leaderboard very, very far. I mean, Trey, let's see, take a look at the leaderboard right now. It's not up to date fully. It is being updated, though, because Apollo is sitting in first with 91, Sheaf with 89, Chusky with 59. So as it stands right now, Trey is the only one that can knock Chusky out, but Trey has to rack up 15 points quickly with 8 minutes left.
And I mean, it sounds hard, 15 points in eight minutes, but if you get somebody with a couple OFZ shells down, they're 3 apiece. That's 5 OFZ shells. So it's very possible that Trey can do this, but he is gonna have to find the PMC and take him down soon to be able to loot and extract.
We're gonna go uphill.
Yeah, he either needs to find a PMC or he needs to find some crates very fast. A lot have dropped. I believe 5 or 6 now is what we're up to. Have dropped with anywhere. I'm not quite sure the number of OFC shells that could be in each container, but we did see 3, so we'll say at least a minimum of 3 per container. That could really help Trey out, but Trey has been on this side of the map for an awfully long time. And I'm just curious, like... Now, something I may not know, does Trey play Lighthouse a lot or no? Obviously, he had to for qualifying. But can we get some clarification? Does Trey like this map or no?
2 scabs with a tag. It's only what, 4
Yeah, that's something I'm not quite sure about either.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I'm very confused about the plan right here, but
even have a chance.
like I said, Trey's got to push towards an airdrop or a PMC because, like you said, airdrops do have 3 OFZ shells each. That is what they have. You know, no more, no less, I believe. So if you can get one, you already bank 9 points.
Exactly.
You know, if you can find a couple that haven't been looted, then you can come out in 3rd place and move on.
Exactly, and that's what Trey needs to do. Chat is saying he does love this map. He plays it a lot. He enjoys it. So he knows how to move around it. He knows what to do. Pally down here just moving around. He's inside of the resort, or inside. I mean, it is technically a chalet resort. You know, he's moving around at the spa.
I'll give it to you. Yeah, Trey is
like, I can't even
looking for
track
PMCs
where
right
the
now.
airdrops are because you just like you fucking can't. You know what I mean? they just fall randomly from the sky, and they've all fallen on the other side of the map.
Yeah, that's a point right there.
They're extremely hard to track, and with all of them being on the other side of the map, it is going to force him to the other side of the map to pick up those extra points. You could hear him talking to his battle mod. Remember, they do have a battle mod with them. That is their point of contact for any rules or any things that might be going on. And you hear him talking with his battle mod saying, hey, you know, we know Chusky's in 3rd. That's who we've got to beat. We have got, you know, I don't know if he's alive or dead, but I have got to get some points here to close that in. Looks like Hallie is going ahead and finding another 3.
Maybe this one went like all the way out here or something.
Ash, let me ask you, buddy. What do you do? What do you do in this position if you're Trey? What are you thinking?
You got if you know the airdrops are on the other side of the map, it's tough because there's 4.5 minutes left. But you have no choice. You have to push to the other end of the map.
Let's go back.
To rack up points, you need the OFZ shells. You know, you have to crack 3rd place. And as of right now, it's 15 points behind. So it's just a tough spot. I don't know if there's anything to do. But I would look for the airdrops and try to bank some OFZ shells on the way out.
It's cutting it a little close. Might run into somebody up here though. At the end.
Hear Hallie talking it out, saying I might run into somebody up here, cutting it a little close. He has 4 minutes left to move towards an extract. Great thing about Lighthouse, though, is the access to a lot of extracts. You have co-op extracts, you have Red Rebel extracts, which obviously they don't have for this. There's the Path to the Shoreline. You have North Road Gate, depending on where you spawn. There are so many extracts on this map that they can take, and it gives you that flexibility to say, okay, depending on where I'm at in the raid or what I have, I can just move out if I need to.
Yeah, for sure. And Trey's only chance, I think, would be to hope him and Lion are going to the same extract. you know, because Lions got tags and OZ shells.
One of them.
So you get the kill for the point, you get the tags. The OZ shells might all be in the pouch, but that's really the only play here. But it looks like Lions going to take path to shoreline and get out of here.
Exactly. Yep. Hallie knowing 3 minutes left. I mean, this would be Trey's like golden ticket. This would be his golden goose. Hallie's right here making a run for it, saying I'm out. And then Trey is still over here by the train tracks, decided not to push away from this at all.
GG's to everybody.
I mean, who knows? Maybe Trey's got a ton of points from scav kills that are going to pop up at the end.
Maybe. I mean, like I said, he has about 15 points that he needs to make up. We'll see at the end of the raid if he has made those up to close in on Chusky. Obviously, not knowing if Chusky is alive or dead in the competition is going to be racking his brain. Like, hey, am I making up enough points? Am I wasting time? Like, when you're a competitor in these situations, you are running through so many scenarios in your head over and over and over, and you're just like, I don't know. Is this the right choice? And it's hard. It is extremely hard for these competitors.
No, you're absolutely right. It's the unknown that can get you. I'm hoping Trey has enough time. Well, Trey's pretty close because it looks like there's a minute and a half left to get there, and it's in the very back corner. If you don't know this extract, it's in the very back corner on this road he's running now. But an extract will give Trey 3. We'll see how many kills he's got. I don't think he has any OFZs, which may hurt him though.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, and that being the thing that he needed the most in this to really boost up those points. He's just double checking, making sure nobody's back here. With this much time left, it'd be really awkward for somebody to be back here. But Trey is playing it smart and safe as he pushes towards extract, and we will get an update very soon on his score. Once he gets out, it will tally up,
and I guess
we'll
just,
see
like, sit here
where
in
he
case somebody runs up. You
goes.
Know, like...
He's like I don't know what to do. He's like, I don't know. He's like, there's 40 seconds left. I don't know.
Yeah, it's smart what he's doing. It's smart what he's doing right now. He's got seconds left. He knows he has a little bit of a cushion on his extract timer. So why not wait here for at least a few seconds, see if you can get a last-minute kill and tags. But he's just got to be very aware of his clock here. He's got to be very aware, and it looks like he is. I'm very curious to see. Trey performed well in a couple tough rounds early. It'd be good to see him jump into third place here.
GG's, boys. I don't think that's enough to come back. Yeah, even when they add it, it won't be enough. I don't know.
Yeah, so...
I'm kind of frustrated because
close.
the planes were. I was like following the planes and tracking the planes, and then the airdrops weren't even landing
close there at the end. As we jump in and take a look, we're getting those points tallied up. You know, with him, a lot of the planes being on the other side of the map. I don't think any of them dropped over there by the rogues. It was very difficult for him to rack up any points. It's frustrating. It's heartbreaking. And but that is a competition where, you know, things happen. And sometimes it's a roll of the dice. I mean, you never know. Like, it's in any sport. Say you're playing football, you have no idea a pigeon could fly in front of the football that you threw for the game-winning thing, and guess what? It still counts. So RNG is always a factor in everything and every aspect of our life. And unfortunately, it didn't work out there. So we will get those points double-checked and tallied up and see exactly who is moving on to Sunday's competition, where they are going to be battling it out for that prize money. Guys, once again, I want to remind you that even though Group A is finalized and finished, we have another group coming right up with Group B with 12 new competitors fighting it out to try to make it into the competition on Sunday. We still have a long day of competitions, and I'm excited to see where everything is going to land. So with that being said, I believe scores are ready. Let's take a look. Ash, give it away. Let's see. How did everybody fall here, Ash?
And Apollo, as we were talking about earlier, did take first place over Sheaf. Barely. That was a nail biter. 2 points. Chusky, from that massive raid earlier, only put on 1 point since the first raid and still ended up in third. That Labs raid was super important. Trey, unfortunately, came close, but just missed out on the top 3 spot. But I think all the competitors did great today. Like you said, a lot of RNG. Some things didn't fall the right way for some people, but it was a great competition to watch. After that, we had Lost Disciple, Snow Reaper, Lion, Razzle, Xerox, Kumo, Breezy. Guys, congratulations on a job well done today. But Apollo takes number 1. Sheaf and Chusky with 2 and 3 to move on to the finals on Sunday.
That is correct. Absolute W for those competitors. Huge. I mean, every single one of them, they earned their way here. They were all great. And it just, you know, when you're playing against your own other competitors the entire time, this is what can happen. And unfortunately, there has to be a winner and a loser. But with that being said, don't go anywhere because we will have the solo group or the semifinals group B coming up. I will be joined by Spooky Squirrel, aka Victoria Ryan, as my co-caster. And once again, I want to remind everybody to head over to, I want to thank our sponsors once again, Goodies Granola and Empire Jerky. Thank you guys for helping and sponsoring this out. Ash, do me a favor, buddy. Tell everybody where they can find you. Say some stuff.
All right, I appreciate it. It was an honor being here, buddy. Thank you, and all of Evasion, thank you. Wonderful tournament. My first tournament casting with Evasion. I am on Team Evasion. My name is Ash, but you can see all my social medias, AshIV_ on Twitch. I'm big on posting on TikTok, Twitter for all updates. I would love to see you on any of those. But guys, thank you so much for everything. It was great. I'm excited to see how Group B does. Go Gingy. We got Team Evasion going. Go Gingy. But I appreciate everything. Thank you, guys.
Hey, it has been an absolute pleasure casting with you. And guys, make sure you stick around for tomorrow because Ash will be competing in Group D tomorrow afternoon. You can see if the power of the stash is as strong as it seems to be after Group A. Thank you guys again so much. We appreciate you. Don't go anywhere, though. We will be back in just a few minutes with an entire another group and an entire another stage of competitions. Much love to all of you. See you in just a few.